Summon your strength. Fight for your team.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Old Bear, also known as Siddharth Prashant, and joining me this beautiful evening,
this is Tango, also known as Sriram Vishal. We are here for a game of PUBG, and as you know, this is the Acer Predator League 2019, and we're just conducting the qualifiers for the PUBG online event, where we will see about 16 teams which will be qualifying for the LAN finals, and out of which the winners will be crowned over there, and we're just finding out who are going to be the 4 teams which are going to qualify tonight.
and this is going to be one hell of a match because this is semifinals number 3. Semifinals number 2 and 1 were really amazing to watch, especially semifinals number 1. We saw a dominant gameplay coming in from Global Esports, who by the way got chicken dinners in all the 3 matches. And by the way guys, this is a best of 3 match, and if you guys have actually missed the previous 2 semifinals, go ahead and check down in this channel because you will be able to see those 2 live streams also. And that was quite an amazing match which was being put up yesterday because we did not really see a lot of dominant gameplay coming in from one single team, but it was more of a even matchup. You did not see a lot of difference between points.
I mean, that's probably because we didn't actually see a single team dominating the entire course of the BO3 series, because we saw 3 different winners in the previous game, which happens to be semifinals too, and we actually saw all the teams giving the others a run for their money. We didn't see a total domination, just like how you said, as we watched it in semi-final 1. And I would say the semi-finals 2 was one of the best games, one of the best series I would say I have ever watched at the moment, because you couldn't count out any of those teams until it was the end of the 3rd game, because we saw a lot of
a lot of upsets coming in, especially from the team Venga Boys during game 2 of semifinals 2. It was not really easy way to win, but they somehow made it, and it was a really gripping match throughout the series. By the way, a huge shout out to Team Raptors also. They also qualified, I believe, and they performed the best in their group actually.
And they were able to secure the top 4 slot in each of the 3 games, which is gonna add as that's gonna add them a lot of points as well, because they even took a lot of kills in those 3 games, and I feel that is something which they will be looking for, and we will be looking for as well in today's games. And I think Raptors were clearly a tad above than the other teams, even though
during the first game at least. But after that, it seemed as though things were not going as well for them as game number 1. We did see they were caught in unfortunate circumstances, they were caught in unfortunate scenarios, and they were just caught off guard, and that eventually led to them going down in game number 2 and game number 3. But nonetheless, they did secure the top 4 spot, as my friend just said. That just put them, gave them that really good pace in the tournament, in that best of 3 series, to get those amount of points to actually qualify, be in the top 4. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I guess
it's about time where we are going to head into the first game of today's stream, which happens to be the semi-final 3, and we are going to be live with the first game.
So ladies and gentlemen, we see it right here, the first map, Erangel. We're just going to be looking over at the Milta Power spawn point right here. We have got a lot of teams playing in the semifinals 3. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be unpredictable. Maybe with the second game we can possibly predict how the flow of the game is going to be.
You never know, because second game is always going to be Miramar in the semi-final, so I feel that is going to add some kind of it's going to add some kind of uncertainty in this process, because that's something which a lot of people wouldn't have played in the professional scene, and I would say that is something new coming out there.
It certainly is something new. That is also a factor which, as you said, it is a really dominant factor. But what I was about to actually say to you beautiful viewers is the fact that we don't really know these teams' capacity is, because once the game 1 ends, we'll actually know who stands at the power rankings. We'll know who to look out for, who is really weak against whom, and with that maybe we can actually predict how it's going to play out, because one team might really be good at sniping, one team might really be good at just sieging down buildings and storming through that, and that is something which we will be seeing in this game right now. Game number 1, Erangel.
So yeah, we are actually going to look at the flight path, and I'm really intrigued to see how it's going to work out, because in about 2 or 3 more seconds we will be looking at the flight moving out, and let's see how it's going to go. And we are going to see the flight going all the way from right in between the military base and Novo, all the way up to Zarki, which is cutting the map diagonally into half from the southeastern side to the northwestern side. So I feel the potential hotspots coming out there could be the military base, and we don't actually see many takers going on for Novo, which is quite surprising, because that's actually an item heaven, if you ask me, as we are going to see some teams spreading out towards the southern part of Pochinki, and some of them going on to Ferry Pier. And I think
I guess one team will be going to Novo. I think the reason why they're just landing a little bit further away is so they can check who else is going to be landing in the closest vicinity. And if they are going to be landing near a road, I think they will be able to secure themselves a vehicle, and that might just be their escape route. But you know what is going to be interesting? The guys who are going to be landing over at Georgopol, as you are going to be looking at them, they are kind of in a really good situation right now. We see it right here. One team actually landing near the containers. One team is going to be landing in Georgopol city, and there is going to be one little hotspot though, and that is going to be farm. We are going to be looking at team number 5 and team number 6 actually just trying to go towards Gatka, and this is going to be a really sad situation, because Gatka is not one of those places you will get a lot of loot. And team number 5, they are kind of vertically more above than team number 6, so they can go a little bit further. They can go into ruins and possibly get the loot over there.
And it looks though as if team number 5 are making their way towards the right side, while we are going to see Paradox and his teammates going on to the shooting range, I suppose.
Okay, this is going to be a really tough situation right now, because team number 5 and team number 6, even though they are going to be getting their secured loot, it is not going to be really intimidating. I don't think every one of them will be equipped with rifles, maybe 2 or 3, but the SMG is not really going to be dealing a lot of damage in long range. They will possibly have to close the distance, and as I'm talking about that, we are going to be looking at Leon right here. He gets a goddamn SLR with a extended mag, I assume. Yes, that is an extended mag, so that is like 20 bullets which he can fire in long range. All he needs to do right now is get a scope, so he can just pair that up and have that long range settle that. And talking about close range, he also has a micro Uzi, and look at that.
I would say that's not quite ideal when you're gonna when you're actually at a place like this, because the only close range places where you can try to hit the shots with the Uzi is just going to be inside the buildings, and if you're going to go out in the open, it's going to be pretty hard for you to try to do that. As we are going to look at team number 5, who are making their way away from the place, as team number 17 are trying to loot out shelter, where we actually see just about 2 people from team number 17 out there. So that's actually a split coming out there from team number 17, while we see another
we see another
2 people from the same team at prison, which is actually a quite good strategy at the moment. But I don't think it's gonna help them for a longer run, because
I actually beg to differ, because once they started to land, they did see that team number 15 and team number 13, they were quite far away from their location, so it's not really a bad idea to actually go for a split. Because
well, yes, it is not a bad idea, but when you're looking at the zone, it is coming towards the western part of the map, which is that's actually a large distance to cover. And the way I see it from now is that they really can't go outside and loot from other places as well, because even though prison as well as shelter are some good places where you can loot, I don't think it's quite sufficient when you are going to go for an early fight. And if you are at a place like that, and when you really want to get inside the white zone, you will be met upon with other people as well.
I guess that is the beauty of PUBG, because you will have to adapt to all of these situations. I'm pretty sure that when they landed in prison and they landed over there, it was not really they did not expect where the zone is exactly going to land. But since right now they do know that the zone is not in their favor, I think what they will have to do is adapt to the game right now, get themselves a vehicle and get their ass into the zone, so they will be able to take these fights much safer. And we are going to be looking at team number 11 right here. At least 2 of their people are going to be in Rozhok, so this full city is going to be claimed by team number 11. We are also going to be seeing 2 more players from team number 11. They are going to be near the school apartments. Team number 9, by the way, they are this is a really they're actually quite far away from every inch of civilization right now.
Oh, this is quite surprising because for the people who are watching it right now, the name of their team is Welcome to North George, and it looks though as if they are actually at North Georgopol while they are looting. It's Sikh Warrior, Nate, as well as his teammates making their way on to North Georgopol where the apartments are, and they are pretty much looting it just like how their name is. And it looks though as if team number 12 are in the close vicinity of another team, which happens to be team number 8, who are there with their vehicles. And I think this could be a firefight anytime soon, as we are looking at team number 12 trying to spot out the vehicle where Jackie and his teammates are, and this is going to be pretty tricky because they have made their way outside that place.
And this is not really an exciting play, but I guess team number 8, this play is actually gonna make sure that they go really forward into the game. Not really taking a fight is that is quite favorable for them, because since they did land in the same compound as the previous team, they're not going to be able to get as much loot, so they just gave up on that. They're just going to go to another place, get themselves some good loot, and try to take a fight another day. And we are going to be looking at team number 6 over here in Severny, actually getting all level 2 up. They have an M4, they also have a bunch of other rifles, they have SMGs, and look at that, team number 6, they have also pretty much split up between cities. Only 2 people are going to be in Severny, and this is going to be.
The other 2 are making their way, however, because anyways they need to regroup at the moment because the zone is going to come out in about 10 more seconds. Looks though as if team number 16, Sumant has
an M16 with a 6x.
Exactly, that is quite. That's quite surprising because early into the game you've got an M16. You feel like you've got the game in your control, and you never know because you are still anyways inside the zone. So I guess that is something which he will be that will be on his favor, I would say.
Well, the thing is, he is in a zone where there are a lot of buildings, so he does have that verticality coming into his favor. So maybe he can go to the terrace and try to snipe out and possibly even spot out some people and give out the information to his team. And it's not like
Mini 14 as well. His teammates has got a Mini 14 as well. So even if I think the team is pretty much sorted at the moment because a lot of them have been in and around this region trying to loot out all these places, and it looks though as if everyone's got one AR as well as a sniper rifle or something like that, as we are going to look at the first drop coming out there in the game where
it's actually landed in the water area. It's actually in the coast actually, and this is
in the coast in the west side, I guess, where you actually drop from in front of
it's just a little bit west of Gadka, so this is going to be quite interesting battle if people are going to be going for that. We are going to be looking at team number 5. They are the closest people to the drop, but I don't think they're going to be contesting that. They seem to have other plans, as they are going to be moving a little bit south of the map. They are going towards their teammates, probably since they are into the zone, probably they wanted to regroup or something like that. Because this is quite a hard thing if they had to go for the drop, because it's quite hard to spot it out as it just went inside the coast, and there's kind of a verticality out there as well. So it's not going to be pretty easy for you to go and spot it out, except for the flare which is coming out there. Well, so I hope that for their sake at least they manage to spot that out, because that is a Groza. Even though Groza is pretty hard to control in mid-range, in close range that is pretty devastating. You can just go for a hip fire and pretty sure that you're gonna get at least 2 or 3 knockouts if you catch your opponents unawares. And we're going to be looking at team number 5. They are not looking to actually move places. We do look at one player from their team is going to be going to the adjacent compound right there. He's just going to try to split some loot and try to get himself some more guns. And we are going to be looking at team number 8 actually. They are in the closest vicinity of team number 5, and this is going to be maybe if these guys are going to be meeting each other. However,
speaking about the drop, and I really didn't think there will be a team going on for that. Looks though as if Kebab is going for the drop, and looks though he's got an M4, I guess.
Well, yeah, he does have an actually he has an M16, and if he has a good scope or something, maybe he might just be able to transfer that onto the Groza and start fighting once and for all. But you know what the good thing is? The flare from the drop has stopped. It's not coming out, so that is not actually gonna that's attract a lot of attention.
Allow a lot of people to come and try to take the drop, and I don't think people will be going such early into the game as well. They would probably maybe 1 out of 10 teams would try to go for the drop at this early into the game, because we just about say about 10 minutes into the game, and I don't think anyone will be going for the drop yet. as we are going to see Kebab coming out there, being the first guy to come outside. And he's anyways going to get a Groza.
I just hope his teammates are kind of in the coast nearby with a vehicle waiting for him, because if they are not, they are near the coast, but if they have a vehicle, they can make a quick getaway once he grabs that loot right there. This is kind of a hard loot actually. Okay, this is actually the second drop, and this has been spotted out by Kebab. It has an AUG and a lot of 5.56 ammo, also the level 3 gear. So Kebab is going to be sorted out. He also has an M16, so that is going to be more bullets to the fray coming in, and possibly with a scope or something, he might just be able to make sure that the AUG acts as his close range weapon, while the M16 with possibly a long range scope like a 4x or a 6x, it can act as a poor man's DMR. We are going to be looking at Kebab right here.
You seem to underestimate the the good things of the M16, because I know like it is quite, even though it's got the 5.56 bullets, it's not going to do a lot of damage compared to the 7.62s, but I feel like if you don't have a DMR or something like that, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Hence poor man's DMR. And we are going to be looking at team number 10 right there. They actually have a boat, and they're going to be making their way towards Ferry Pier right now. And this is going to be quite a hard situation for team number 12. If they do manage to spot out team number 12's player Kebab right there, that is going to be a free M16 and an AUG going for them, because he is in the water, he's not in a boat, so he will not be able to fire at these people from team number 10. And look at that, we are going to be looking at them going towards the general direction of team number 12's player Kebab. So he needs to be careful, he needs to make his way into the coast right now. Let's see if this is going to be a battle between team number 10 and team number 12, as we are going to be looking at his teammates. Actually, they are quite far away from the coast. I don't think they will be able to spot him out, and meanwhile they're going to be getting our first knockout of the game, as we are going to be looking at team number 11 actually fighting it out against team number 8, and we are going to be looking at a lot of knockouts coming in. We're going to be looking at Jackie.
That is actually 2 kills coming out there for team number 11, as that the other team is just left with 2 people alive, as this is a good fight coming into their way. And let's actually see if they can try to take it out, as we are going to look at Kebab again trying to make his way inside the shore, while his teammates are going to try to help him out. But looks though as the team number 10 were never going for the drop. Looks though probably they are going into the zone, probably going on to Georgiapol or probably to the southern part of it. I think that's actually a good play coming out there from their team.
I think that might just be, that might turn out to be a sad play, because if they do go to Georgiapol, they have to realize that there are 2 teams in Georgiapol, one in Georgiapol Containers and one in Georgiapol City. And if they are going to be going towards that area, and if they do have good scopes, these guys are going to be sitting ducks, as they are in a boat, and boats are pretty easy to damage, and if you do jump out of a boat, I'm pretty sure that you're dead. Until you make it out into the coast, you're not going to be safe. We're going to be looking at team number 12. By the way, they have regrouped themselves. They do have a boat for themselves also, and I don't think that team number 10 have spotted out team number 12's location. They might have actually seen the drop, but they would have thought that somebody else would have taken that. We are going to be looking at team number 9 right here at the edge of the zone. He is going to be making his way to the middle continent right now.
But he is going to get met upon by team number 16, I guess, because they have a clear idea that he is going to make his way, and he is going to get probably taken out, as he is going to just survive, I guess. He's making his way out there, and look to us, just 5 HP is what he has, and make that 8 because he's got a boost as well, which is actually helping him out. I'm pretty surprised how he was able to make it, where team number 16 had almost about 4 people out there, and they really couldn't get the job done, which is actually going to leave them in fumes, I probably guess, because another team is making its way from Georgiapol again. So a lot of teams are at this place. We see team number 6, team number 9 as well as 16 out here, and this could go either ways. It can be a triple threat as well, because a lot of people are going to converge onto this place, because the zone is in their favor as well. And mind you, this place is already looted, so even if team number 9's Aditya is going to try to make his way and try to loot it out, he wouldn't be getting a lot of good loot, I would say.
Well, it doesn't matter if he's getting loot or not. He is getting his backup right now, as 2 of team number 9's players are going to be making his way towards his team. No, actually,
they aren't actually making their way.
I guess they're taking the long way around to get into the middle continent right now, and that is not a bad decision. They can actually look and see if people are going to be near the Georgiapol containers, and since they are going to be moving a little bit slower, I guess they have a lot of healing, and we're going to be looking at
team number 16 and 6, which are going to duel it out at the moment, and we are going to see a couple of knockouts coming out there in favor of team number 6. and this is going to go, oh, this is going in team number 6's favor, because it's all up to Johnny Walker, who happens to be the last person alive in his team. He is going to go and try to knock he's going to try to take. Oh, that really did not work out well.
You know what would have been really funny if the Dacia actually ran over his team.
I mean, it could have been funny, it could have been sad as well, but I don't think that would have been possible at that time, because it wasn't that big of a slope out there for it to move so quick, and that was a good play for team number 6 as well, because they lost none of them in that fight, and they took everything from the other team out there. So this is actually going to help them out, given that the zone is pretty much nearby as well, and they've got a vehicle for them to take that escape route, but they will be met upon by team number 8 as well.
But they only have 2 players. The rest of the 2 players from team number 8 actually got knocked down by team number 11's. So, you know, just meeting up with 2 other players not gonna be as difficult of a thing. We are gonna be
other teams are going to fight it out at the moment, and we are going to see team number 14 as well as 5 trying to duel it out, as the nade coming out there from team number 14, not really going inside that building and not even connecting it, but he does manage to spot one person out, and he manages to take him out as well, and that is going to be Shintan, who is going to spot on one person for team number 14, and he's going to knock him down as well. That's going to be 2 knockouts in favor of team number 5, and that is going to give them you know, an extra advantage at the moment. And look to as if he is going to damage a little bit of his teammate out there, which is going to allow Shintan to try to take him out, but that is going to go towards team number 14's favor, and both of them are making their way. They're storming the entry point into that building, and there's going to be one more knockout out there for team number 14, which is going to leave team number 5 just with one person remaining who is alive and who is going to go and try to revive his teammate, and that happens to be Leon. And it looks as if team number 14 are in the driver's position at the moment, as one of their players are going to go and revive one of his teammates.
And this is a really advantageous situation for team number 14 right now. They have not really lost anyone. They only have a knockdown right now. And team number 5's Leon, he is going to make his way onto the terrace. He's just going to be going prone, just to make sure that he does not get spotted out by the opposite teammates if they plan on getting on the terrace themselves. And we are going to be looking at him with a 2X and an M16. Actually a really good setup, actually my personal favorite setup coming in from Leon right there. But I think that if team number 14 just lobbed a few grenades onto the terrace, they might be able to get that kill, but I don't think they've actually heard where exactly they are. We are going to be looking at Magician God. He is actually going to be looking at the exact position of Shin Shan. That's quite
Shin Chan, but that had me guessing for a moment what how hard it is to pronounce that, because I'm always used to, you know, calling it Shin Chan, and calling it Shin Chan is making it really more weird, I would say.
And we are going to be looking at the grenade getting lobbed out by Magician God, not really catching Shin Chan with his pants off, but did rattle his pants enough to actually make him change his position. We're going to be looking at Shin Chan right there. He is going to be looking at the ground floor. Okay, he's actually going to be looking at the stairs, while Leon is going to be looking at the ground floor. We are going to be looking at Leon is in a really tough position, but no, the grenades coming up, that is going to destroy the door on top of the building. Magician God with that Scarl, with the extended mag, he is going to be making sure that he stays his ground in his own building. It does not seem like team 14 really want to storm that building. They're just going to be throwing out grenades, I suppose, to just flush them out of the building.
I mean, not just that, but I feel it's going to be really hard for team number 5 to pull this out of nowhere, because what Leon has is an M16 with a 2X, which is going to be really hard to, you know, keep spamming, because you get a single bullet or it's going to be burst fire, while we are switching to a fight between team number 17 as well as team number 6, as team number 6 are going to go for another fight at the moment, as Midas Monster is going to take down one person from team 17, leaving just 2 people alive from their team, and he's trying to go to take, and one more person is going to go down for team number 17, and that is going to be team number 17 going to get eliminated. They bite the dust again, courtesy of team number 6. That is going to be their 8th kill in this game, which is going to add them a lot of points heading into the first game, which is going to give them a lot of advantage should they finish in the top 5 or something like that, because as you know, 15 points for every kill is going to you know, propel your team up the standings, which is why people are going to go for fights.
And we are going to be looking back at team number 14 versus team number 5. It seems like Shin Chan is actually in a good position, not really you know, in a position where he can be sniped out from one of these windows, but we are going to be looking at Unstoppable from team number 14 right here. They are going to be storming up that building. Magician God is going to be keeping his eye onto the stairs right there. Magician God is going to be making his way inside of the building right now, and we are going to be looking at the storm coming in. We are going to be looking at the vanguard coming in from team number 14. We are going to be looking at him actually standing out on the on the goddamn turf floor right there. But we are going to be looking at Shinchan getting caught unaware. He's going to get knocked down. He's going to get killed by Magician God. But we are going to be looking at Magician God himself getting killed right there. Leon is going to be salvaging the situation right now, as we are going to be looking at a 2 versus 1 situation. But Leon gets wiped out, and that is going to be team number 5 actually getting eliminated from the game. And team number 14, they lost a lot of people. Only Unstoppable is alive from his team. Oh, it's a costly battle.
This was sad coming out there from Unstoppable. He wasted a couple of seconds, and that was pretty valuable, because the moment he just went down and tried to revive his teammate, that was the end of his teammate, because he was knocked down just about a couple of minutes ago while he was trying to go up and try to take on Shinchan. But this was quite a costly fight coming out there. Even though they won that, that's a lot to lose for them, I would say. As we are going to switch over to team number 10 as well as team number 13, trying to fight it out, both of them in a different building. And it looks like a Hamilton with his 3x on the UFC is trying to spam it out, as Foxtrot is going to take down 1, and Rohan K is going to spot him out. And team number 13 are in the backfield right now. They are making their way behind to see if they can steal it off, because the M24 coming out there from Harshit Bala, and the grenade is going to get thrown out there. They are cooking up some nades as well, so let's see how it is going to go. They are going to buy some time, but it's going to be, oh my god, there's going to be one person who's going to go down out there from, that's actually 2 people, right?
Yeah, 2 people going down for team number 10, and we are going to be looking at Kawa 143 with that M4. He will be able to spot out a lot of people coming towards this building. He's going to be watching out of that building, and look at him, he's actually going for the chase, and he will be able to spot out one person. He will be able to knock him down and make sure that the 2 of his knockdown teammates are going to be alive right there, and he's just going to play it a little bit safe, because team number 13 are not exactly done right here. Daredevil is going to be making his way towards his, okay, I don't think this is going to be
this is going to be really risky right now, because if Daredevil is going to rotate at the moment, he's going to get down 3 kills, because one of them is going to be knocked out yet, and Hemchand is still healing out there. So that is going to be really tricky for both these people out now, because they are buying that teams a lot of time, because you actually saw a couple of guys getting knocked out from both the teams, and they are healing up right now. And now we are going to see a 3 versus 3 at the moment. Let's see how it's going to work out. Daredevil making his way right in front, and looks like he is going to get met by Sawa, and he's going to get knocked out as well. And Hemchand is going to be right behind him, and that is going to be the end of team number 10 as well. Beautiful play coming out there from team number 13. They just lost 1 person into that fight, and I think that is something they can take it forward, because they still got 4 kills out there.
They can live with it. And you know what, that is a really good thing for Daredevil, because once he got that knockdown, you see that was the last magazine of 556 bullets which he had with that Scorrel. And since he did manage to win that fight, he will be able to lay claim onto the loot of his dead opponents. And we are going to be looking at team number 15 right here. They are in a really good position, while they don't know that there is one guy just hugging the coast over there. So if the zone does converge, they have to be careful about team number 12's lone player. If he does catch team number 15's people unawares, at least I think 1 or 2 more people will be going down. And we are going to be looking at the drop, which is going to be between team number 12's player and the entire squad of team number 6, which, by the way, they have proven themselves to be one of the best teams in this series right now, as they did eliminate 2 teams by themselves, a total of 8 kills for them. And we are going to be looking at Aditya right now with that SKS and that 6x. He will be able to get a lot of range with this.
I mean, mind you, he's got a suppressor as well, because no one's going to know where the shot came from, and that is going to be pretty tricky, because the next zone is still in their favor, and a lot of teams are at the border of the zone. So this is going to be really tricky for all these teams, as we are going to see Arcady with that SLR and that 6x, also his teammates out there from team number 11, and let's see how it is going to pan out for them, because they are quite close to team number 8. And about 30 more seconds, we are going to see the next zone going to come out, and which is not going to do a lot of damage for these guys, because they are right inside the zone, and team number 8 are right outside the zone, which is going to go out really slow, because they are quite near to the white zone. And we are going to see Aditya trying to spam it out from that building, where he has spotted team number 9's players, I suppose.
I guess that
team
is
number 11's players.
Team number 11's players, who, by the way, they did manage to knock down 2 of team number 8's players, and the rest of his teammates, the 2 remaining guys from team number 8, are actually pretty close to team number 11's position. So they have to be careful. They can't really just be worrying about team number 9, as we are going to be looking at team number 6 right here. They are going to be making their way towards the zone, towards the center of the zone. They are already inside of the zone. But look at Aditya right here. He is not convinced that people are behind the zone, so he's just going to be checking that angle. Really, if he actually knew that nobody was there, he'd know.
Well, maybe he was right, because there was a team number 13 coming out from the other side of his behind. So I think he did hear some kind of sound for him to keep checking out that place pretty often. And looks though as if that's going to be the end of team number 12. The last survivor from his team is going to go down, courtesy of the Star coming out there from Paradox. And that is going to be the 9th kill for their team as well. Crucial points coming out there in favor, as it's going to be Tarne who's going to take down Unstoppable out there. He's just going to knock him out, and let's see whether it's going to be a fight out there. While it's going to be Aditya and Sikh Warrior who are going to take down 2 kills out there, 2 knockouts that is, and one of them going to go down, courtesy of the Mini 14 coming out there from Sikh Warrior. The smoke's coming out there. It is going to prime up the people coming out there from team number 30, and that's going to be 1 kill coming out for Aditya as well. This is going team number 9's favor. Even though team number 13 and 15 are right next to each other, and that is going to be the end of team number 13 as well. Like I just said, it's going to be team number 9 taking that fight to their advantage, because even though team number 15 were right next to them, they could have probably got those 2 kills, but that was not the case. Just about 1 minute ago, team number 9 were there without any kills, and look at that.
They just eliminated a full squad right there, but that is not actually done yet, as team number 9 are actually going to be fighting against team number 15's people, and we are going to be looking at Aditya right now. He sees that Red Game Soul and team number 15's players are going to be there, and we are going to be looking at a lot of damage coming in from Red Game Soul, and the Mini 14, okay, actually the SKS coming in from Aditya, that is going to be dealing a lot of damage. That is going to be knocking down Red Game Soul, and he is going to go down, and we are going to be left with just one person from team number 15, but no, he gets headshot by the M416 by Aditya, and that is going to be team number 15 getting eliminated from
That's a dominant
game.
play coming out there from Aditya, because that was 4 out of 6 kills from his team coming out there from himself, and we still are going to find out who is going to get the chicken dinner of this first game, because we are left with about 4 teams and 14 people alive from this. We see a couple of teams with 3 people each, while we see team number 6 with 4 and team number 8 with 2 people. So this can go either ways. The zone is still favoring the 3 teams who are who are towards the right side of the white zone, while Aditya is making his way inside the zone, and so are his teammates. So this is going to be really tricky right now, because
I guess the only people with the disadvantage is going to be team number 8, because only they have 2 people. The rest of them all have 4 people, so they are all completely full. And the only thing which is going to be bothering me about this zone is the fact that there is this little bit of a lake area with a lot of these trees filled in, and it is actually just a little bit next to a slope, which by the way is going to be an advantage for team number 6, because they are actually over the slope. And we're going to be looking at Aditya right now. He will be able to hear a lot of noise coming in from team number 6's direction, I guess. Okay, he does not have any idea that team number 6 are going to be rotating around. He's going to be looking at the zone right now.
While we are going to see team number 6 making their way onto the edge of the zone to try to spot out people who are trying to flank it out right now, as Aditya and his teammates are out that ridge near the lake kind of place out there. So this is going to be really tricky, because at any time both these teams are probably going to meet each other, because towards the right side of team number 9 are going to be the other team coming out there from team number 11, and it's going to be team number 8 who is going to take down team number 8. Tarne is going to take down one person coming out there. So this is going either ways, because we really can't judge. We really can't say who is going to have an advantage at this moment, even though team number 9 are right in the edge of the zone, and they literally don't have anyone behind them.
I think the team which has the most advantage is by far team number 6. They are actually not getting spotted out. They have not really made any noise. They have not shot anyone in this zone particularly. So I don't think they are going to get figured out right now. As we are going to be looking at Tarn from team number 8. He needs to actually play this a lot carefully, because he only has one more teammate actually backing him up.
He has spotted out the people coming out there from team number 11, so there is going to be a fight anytime soon, because he's already spotted a couple of guys running from that ridge and coming inside near the lake. So this can go either ways. Even though team number 8 just have about 2 people, they can probably try to take the fight, because they are in the top 4, and looks as if Aditya and Sikh Warrior are trying to take down 2 people out there, 2 of them from 2 different teams, and Master is going to spot down Captain Pawns, but he does not take that shot. He's not going to connect that shot. The nade's being primed out there, trying to take down a couple of people, but two of his teammates are going to get knocked down right now, and it's going to be really hard for him to go for the revive, because Arcady is going to go down because of the zone, and Sick Warrior is going to take down one more guy. Midas Monster is going to go down as well. In about 5 more seconds, we are going to see the next zone where it's going to pop out, and we are just left with 10 people alive and 4 teams still into it, and we see a lot of deaths coming out there due to the zone, which is going to leave us just with about 3 teams remaining, and team number 8 are still into this, which is quite surprising, as we are going to see Sick Warrior trying to take out a fight between team number 6's player, while the other person, who happens to be Paradox, is trying to make his way from the other side, trying to flank it out probably, as Master X is trying to still spot out team number 9's players. And this is a quite good strategy coming out there from team number 6, trying to go from the other side of the zone, and that could probably help them out, because there isn't anyone out there where Paradox is. So if he plans to get inside the zone through that way, that could probably buy them a lot of time so that they can regroup, and I think that can go. I think team number 8 are going to get shot at the moment from team number 9, and this is going to be really tricky because team number 8 already have just 2 people right now, so there isn't much of space for cover, I would say, as they are right onto the...
Actually, I think that team number 9 are the ones in the most disadvantage, because even though they have the most amount of people, they are actually going to be making their way into a spot where none of them are going to get a lot of cover. And
but it's going to be Sick Warrior who's going to prove you wrong, as he's going to take down 3 people out there. He's going to take down 2 people, and that's going to be the end of team number 8. 2 knockouts coming out there really quick, and that is just going to leave us with 2 teams remaining, and that's going to be a 4v2 at the moment. Team number 9 in an advantage right now, having spotted out one person from team number 6. Is going to be Aditya, who's going to go for the shot, and he is going to do a little bit of damage out there, while Paradox is trying to cover his teammate, because right now he is going to face a Herculean task out there, trying to wipe out 4 people with just 2 people with his team, and this is going to go either ways, as it's going to be Nate who is going to get knocked down at the moment, Nate is going to get spotted out there by Paradox, as they are making the flank out there, probably trying to take him down, and let's see how it's going to happen. He is healing it right now. He's going for the painkillers, but little does he realize that Nate is making his way. He is going to flank it out. He has spotted one person out there. He's going to take that shot, and that is going to be the team which is going to win this game. Team number 9 are the winners of this first game of this BO3. Well played there. I mean, I saw team number 9 literally rip it out in the last 3 minutes, because until then they were just about with 0 kills. They didn't have a single kill into their account, and they just went on to the 5th zone or the 6th zone without a single kill. And after that, that was a whole different story, and it's going to be straight out of North George, which is going to get the chicken dinner for this game. Just look at that, 6 kills for Aditya. We got Sick Warrior with 5 kills, and we got 2 more kills coming out there from Captain Pawns as well as Nate.
And we know that team number 6 did play really well in this game. They were actually on top of the kill score. But team number 9, with that last little bit of a fight between team number 8 and team number 6, they managed to, rack up those kills, and we see a lot of kills coming in for them. I guess that's around the 13 kills for their entire team, plus the chicken dinner which they got. I'm pretty sure that they have set the pace in this game, and we are going to be looking at, I guess this is the team which we have to look out for, straight out of North George.
I mean, yes, the moment I heard that name, I was really surprised whether they will be going on to George or not, because but when I was looking at the plains zone, the plains route, I would say, it went on straight to George, and these guys just dropped out there, and just like their name suggests, they just went on to North Georgopol. They just went and tried to loot all those apartments, and I really didn't think that they will be, that was a total transformation coming out there in the last 3 minutes coming out there, as just like how I said, from 0 kills to 13 kills in a span of 3 minutes is a great thing, and coming out there in the late game is something which is quite commendable as well, and they are getting the maximum points for that as well. Chicken dinner plus about 13 kills, and that is going to give them a huge lead coming out there.
And one more team which I have to give a huge shout out to is team number 8 right now. They actually lost 2 of their players pretty early on into the game. Actually, their 2 players who got knocked down, they were the first 2 to actually die in the game. And even though they were the first people to actually lose teammates, they somehow made it so far into the game. They actually got the 3rd place, and Tharn with those 2 kills. Not really a lot of kills, but every kill actually matters in this series. And you know what? He has made his team proud, and we are going to be looking at game number 2, which is going to be Miramar pretty soon.
I mean, I'm really surprised to see. I mean, I'm really pumped up to see how it's going to pan out in Miramar, because we saw, you know, the capacity of all these teams right now in Erangel, and I'm really surprised what their strategy. I'm just thinking about what their strategy will be for Miramar, because that's going to be really hard, because we saw a lot of people trying to, you know, play it really safe and try to take cover for a lot of time, and then going all out aggressive in the last two to three zones, and that is something which is, you know, that's not really going to, you know, pan out pretty well if it's going to go for Miramar. And I'm really,
you don't have a lot of cover. The map is very huge, and you need to get a vehicle for yourself, and you know, you need to at least 2 or 3 vehicles actually, you know, to make sure that you get all those loots. You spread apart all around the island, because you have a lot of these buildings, and Miramar is not one of those places where you don't get a lot of loot. You actually have tons and tons of loot, and it's just that your preference matters. If you're comfortable with an M16, go for it. If you're not, go for another gun, and Miramar lets you have the choice. And with that being said, I guess we will be seeing how these people are actually going to be playing out, because I think this is going to be one of the most exciting games coming up. Miramar, you don't have any choice. You have to take those fights.
I mean, yes, see, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, straight out of North George are pretty much on the top of the table, even though the stats will be up in about some more time. I don't want to spoil it to you guys.
But you know what? Soon. There is no Georgia Pole in Miramar. There is no Georgia Pole in Miramar. Maybe that's just a jinx for them or something. I don't know. There is no Georgia Pole in Miramar. Maybe they don't really perform well in Miramar, but we don't really know that. And
but if you actually think there is going to be some team which is going to win it, if you think your favorite team is going to win it in Miramar, just lay down the comment section. Just keep spamming it out, saying which team is going to get the chicken dinner in the second game, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be really intense. Because as we saw the second team which finished, team number 8, they just had 2 people right from the start of the game. I mean, because the 2 of the other players were the first ones to die, and making it to the top 2, coming out as the second place.
They were actually the third place.
Coming out to the third place, it doesn't matter anyways, the top 3. So coming out to the third place with just 2 people is something which is really commendable. And they were not the first teams to get eliminated as well, because having two players and not going for any, you know, just going it really safe. That wasn't what they were doing. They just went on for fights. They did get those successful fights. We saw a couple of 2v4s and 2v3s which they had somehow clutched, and I think that deserves, you know,
a lot of praise
as well.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you'll know when the streams are going to be coming up. So we are going to be doing a lot of PUBG and Dota coming up. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, so you know exactly when we are going to be doing that. And we are going to be coming back after a short break for game number 2 of the semifinals number 2.
You know what? Screw game number 2. I want to know who are going to be the people who are coming out of the leaderboard, because I'm really surprised to see. I'm really, you know, I really want to see who are going to lead the top of the table and who are going to be the top 4. So I think before we go on to the break, I think we should leave the viewers to let them know what
the standings
is going to be the standings and who are going to be the top teams. And as we are going to look, it's going to be straight out of North George who are going to bag about 695 points heading first, as well as getting a lot of kills.
And we are going to be looking at the Rad Syndicate, who are going to be standing at the second place in this points table right now with 545 points, just followed by Pebble Gaming. Not really a lot of kills for them, but they did get that third position in the game, so they have the 375 points. And Too Easy Gaming are going to be in the 4th position with 325 points. So the top 4 for the first game have been confirmed. Let's just hope that these guys have what it takes to keep up their pace and make sure that they stay in the top 4.
I mean, speaking about the top 4, let's actually see how it's going to unfold for the people who are below that, because Team Aimer squad with 270 points, and we see Deathstrokers with 265, and welcome to South George. And we're actually going to see something like a derby out there between North George and South George, because they are right now at 235 points. Not something which is pretty great, but I think they still have a lot of chance coming out there in the second and the third game, as we are going to look at the bottom half with Unleashed Gaming, We The Future, Quack Quack, Blood Hustles out there, and Arctic Warfare Masters, who are, you know, they're not really in a good...
they are in a horrible position right now, actually, and especially Acify, because they have 0 points. 0 points is going to be quite hard for them, and I guess this is going to be quite hard, so they will have to make sure that they play their best game to actually show off how they are not to be underestimated maybe in the next game of Miramar. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, go ahead and grab yourself some popcorn, and we'll actually see you after a short commercial break.
Say the word, say the word. Say the word, come on. Say the word and we can run around the earth and around the sun. Say the word and we can say, forget about that better place. And I know you're healing, 'cause I know the feeling. The streets stop breathing. I don't wanna let you. Say the word, say the word. Say the word. Seeing all the reasons we should forget about this place, but I don't wanna leave here if you're just gonna stay. Changing like the seasons, been wasting all this time. Should be like satellites cast beyond the sky. Believe our fate for another day. Riding these horizons, we'll find our way. We'll leave our fate and fade into the night. Just follow me to paradise. Just say we tried. Say the word and we can run around the earth and around the sun. Say the word and we can say, forget about that better place. And I know you're healing, 'cause I know the feeling. The streets stop breathing. I don't wanna let you. Say the word, say the word. Say the word. Say the word and we can run round the earth and around the sun. Say the word and we can say. Say the word.
it's your turn. Summon your strength. Fight for your team.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Old Bear, also known as Siddharth Prashant, and joining me for the second game is...
This is Tango, also known as Sriram Vishal. We witnessed a grueling game of PUBG just about some more time before, and we witnessed straight out of North Georgia Paul winning the first game.
And that was not really the most dominant gameplay as we have seen in the previous ones, but it was right down to the wire. We saw team number 9 versus team number 6, and that was kind of a really tough fight coming in. We did see that the players who actually ended up in the second place during game number 1, they were actually my personal favorites, because they had an early 8 kills. 8 means they just got wrecked 2 teams by themselves.
I mean, I really felt that the teams which finished first, second and third had really contrasting strategies, because if you had looked at the winning team, which happens to be consisting of Aditya, Nate and all of them, they literally fired from all cylinders only in the last 3 zones. And if you're going to look at the other team which finished third, they got about 9 kills. They got about 9 kills in the first few.
No. They actually got 2 kills. The players who ended up in third place, they had 2 kills, and they only had 2 people at the last zone. So they were actually playing it really safe, and that just is a really good example of how you can play PUBG and actually acquire victory without really taking a lot of fights. That is a really good strategy, not something which a lot of people would actually do, because it's not as fun. But this is a tournament. This has a lot of big money going into it. This has a lot of fame going into it. Acer Predator League. So
I mean, it's not just that. In the end, it's going to be about a BO3, so it's just not about your kills which are going to matter, it's also your position. So, you can choose either one of that. You can probably go out all guns blazing right in the start of the game and go for all the kills and try to, farm up your points through the kills. Or what you can do is probably just like end up by team number 3, just play it really safe until the last 2 zones, go out all aggressive, try to get those kills, and you'll always get those points as well. And speaking about the team which finished second, they went on all guns blazing in the first 3 zones, and they got about 9 kills within 15 to 20 minutes of the game. And only after that they started playing it really safe, and which eventually got them till the second place, and which is also a lot of points going in their way as well. So as we had looked at the standings and all of that, we saw straight out of North Georgia Paul coming out with 635 points, and close behind them was the second team as well. And the difference between the second and third team was quite wide, I would say.
Quite huge, but the second team did manage to close their distance between themselves and the first team. So, that is a really good gameplay coming in from them, and I believe team number 6 was actually just a little bit better than team number 9 in the beginning of the game. And I feel like the only reason that they actually lost that game, they actually did not get the chicken dinner, was because their way towards the zone was actually did not have any trees, did not have a lot of places to take cover to, not cake tower to, but yeah, take cover. And that was that eventually led to team number 9 spotting them out initially and getting those pretty easy frags, and by getting that they just shut down the momentum of team number 6, and that just forced them to split up and try to get as many kills as possible and try to just get their standing on the leaderboard just a little bit better. But this is going to be Miramar next map, and this does not have a lot of places to take cover into anyway.
Not just that, but we may also see a lot of different strats coming out there from all the teams which are participating, because if you actually looked at the previous game, just like how you said, the way they went into the zone, they went on towards the sides of the zones, sides of the white zones, going right across the corners, which is quite predictable coming into the professional scene, because that's how people try to go. And when you are just going for those pub games, you'll probably try to get right inside the center of the white zone, and probably that could have gone either ways, but not attributing to that. And I would say Miramar is going to be quite different, as there's not much of cover out there, as you can see, and a lot of good loot also coming their way when they are
verticality. And the verticality. You have a lot of these buildings in Miramar which are more than 3 stories. The only buildings like that in Erangel is actually just the hospital building and the ones in prison. So not really a lot of verticality in Erangel, but Miramar, it's not going to be the case. You have almost in every major city you have 3-story buildings, and especially in a city like Los Leones you have those construction sites which can actually give a really huge vantage point throughout the city. You will be able to spot out any team moving about if they're not careful enough. And other than that, you also have these really huge flat mountains in Miramar which probably you can get with a bike, and if you do and you have a sniper rifle or a DMR with a good scope, I'm pretty sure that you're going to be set for the game. And that is one of the things which we have to look out for in Miramar, but I don't think people are going to be taking as much use of the mountains as the buildings.
I mean, not just that, because when you are going to look at a map like Miramar, it's probably one of the most open maps in the game, and you don't have much of cover when you are going between cities. So if you're actually trying to go get inside the zone, I would say if you want to get inside the zone quicker, that's going to help you out, because when you're going to go late into the game when the blue zone is going to move out, that's not really going to help you out, because you'll get spotted pretty easily. Because as you can see, the cover between the people, the cover in the buildings and all of that is not that great when you're coming in, when you're looking at the places when you are trying to get inside the zone, because between the cities you don't have much of cover.
And one of the most actually one of the advices which I would give you guys is, if you're going to be moving inside of the zone and you predict it to be an open area, make sure that you have more than one vehicle for your team, because you can actually use them as cover. Not a Diablo, but if you get a pickup truck or something, go ahead and use that as cover, because they have a lot of durability. You are not going to possibly shoot that down and make it explode. You can probably use it for cover.
And also the usage of your smokes, because in a map like Miramar you can actually get shot from any side. If you can actually try to spot them out pretty earlier, that's good for you. But if you can't, you always have those smokes which you can keep using, because in the previous game, in the semi-final too, we saw a lot of people using the smokes, and which eventually allowed people to get their victories, because the smokes are really useful when it comes to the last 2 to 3 zones, because that's not just going to cause a distraction, but it also can help you out if you want to go for a timely revive or something like that. And I feel that is something which a lot of people should be using, and I'll be encouraging that as well.
And I feel like since the first game just determined who are going to be at the top of the leaderboard, especially straight out of North George, and that they are actually the ones to look out for. And let's actually see if they can maintain their pace and get the victory in Miramar, because the play style which they had in Erangel, they played it really safe in the beginning, but they went all guns blazing in the last few zones. I don't know if that kind of a play style can actually apply to Miramar, but if they can make it work, I think they might be one of the strongest teams in this tournament right now.
I mean, not just that, I would also say never count out Rat Syndicate, because they gave a really tough fight to the winners of the previous game. So I feel in a map like Miramar, when it's not about exactly your strategy, it's also about where you're going to land and what is going to happen based on your surroundings and all that. I feel Team Rat Syndicate were able to adapt to their surroundings pretty well. They were able to take cover of each and everything which was available to them, and I feel their adaptability can prove a really good point coming into Miramar. And I feel I'll be looking after that, because I even though I feel like straight out of North George have a good chance of winning it, I also feel like Rat Syndicate have an equal good chance.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, those are the 2 teams which we have to look out for in game number 2. If they don't perform really well, they are going to be losing their pace, and we are going to be getting into the game pretty soon. So don't go anywhere, grab yourself some popcorn and get ready, because we are going to be playing a game of PUBG.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for a game of PUBG at Miramar, and one of the maps which I really love, and I think everyone loves as well, because the response coming out there for Miramar was pretty huge when it first came out. A lot of people were, a lot of potential hotspots like Pecado as well as Hacienda. One of my favorite places as well.
One of my dreaded places, but also one of my favorite because when we usually play PUBG ourselves, I'm pretty sure that we have made out of Hacienda quite a few times, and we have gone very far into the game with those loots which we actually got from Hacienda. But I don't think that people are going to be fighting in those hotspots in this particular map right now, because this is a professional tournament. People don't just want to come here to have fun, they're here to win. And I'm pretty sure that people, if they do spot out a team going towards Hacienda or even San Martin, they are gonna actually try to get away from that area, maybe try to secure themselves a vehicle and try to go to any of the other cities. And as we see right here, we do see the plain road coming in. It actually starts off at the Oasis on top and ends a little bit south.
It goes right down south towards the southern part of Los Lunas and towards the eastern part of Los Higos, going right on to the shore. And I think this is a really good plain route coming out there. As you can see, the teams which are going to participate out there: Unleashed Gaming, Rat Syndicate, Asify, Pebble Gaming, Straight Out of North George, Quack Quack, Too Easy Gaming, We the Future, Emo Squad, Welcome to South George, and Deathstrokers, Arctic Warfare, Masters, as well as Blood Hustles. If you think any of these teams which you like or you support are going to get the chicken dinner in the second game, just lay down in the comment section saying this team is going to get it, and let's see what we are up to as the plane is going to make its way right on top.
And one of these places which I've actually really underestimated a lot is actually the Oasis, and we are going to be looking at one team actually landing pretty early on onto the plains road, and it seems like they are not going to go to Oasis. Maybe they're going to be going to
Cabrera. They're going to Cabrera, and we are going to see one team going on to water treatment, as the spread coming out there going predominantly on to El Pozo. We see a couple of teams dropping towards that side, and about 3 to 4 teams going towards the right side, going on to Hacienda and San Martin. Let's see how it's going to pan out, because a lot of teams are going to converge out there, and I think probably a team or two may back off because a lot of people are coming. They wouldn't want to take a risk early into the game. We are going to see one team, just about one team going on to Pecado, which is going to be a brilliant move, because not a lot of teams are going out there and they can have the entire city to themselves, and mind you, even the stadium as well, where you can get a whole lot of loot out there.
The casino and the stadium are pretty much one of the most bloodiest places in Miramar in a pub game. But in a professional tournament like this, since team number 10 are going to be getting the complete monopoly over that city, they are possibly going to be getting all their required loot in this first stage of the game itself.
And speaking about monopoly, the team which landed on Hacienda are going to have it for themselves, as the other two teams which were dropping towards that side are going to go towards the west, towards the eastern part of Hacienda, which means they are probably going on towards the eastern part, probably El Azhar or something like that.
And we are going to be looking at the winners of the last game, team number 9. They are going to be going towards El Pozo, and it does not seem like they are going to be contested by anyone nearby. Just a little teams, just a little bit north of El Pozo, but not really something to be worried about, because the scale of this map is very huge. So unless they get themselves some vehicle and get their guns earlier than team number 9 lands in El Pozo, I don't think they will be having any trouble. And we are going to be looking at team number 14 right now, landing in the middle of nowhere. They're just trying to scour as much loot as they can. Possibly they're going to be getting a pistol. Okay, we see it right there. They get a pistol. They probably get an assault rifle or two, but not really going to be a lot of loot unless they get themselves a vehicle and try to move around and loot all these small places.
And mind you, never underestimate these kinds of buildings right now, which Kit 10 was going and heading into, because those kinds of buildings are, you get a lot of DMRs out there, usually the ones in Los Lunas and surrounding that. I usually drop there whenever I want to go to Los Lunas or something like that, because I'm pretty sure whenever I drop down to a building like that, I'll probably get a DMR or even an AR, which is going to do whatever is necessary for the first few fights. And I think that is something which is pretty good, as we are going to look at the overview of the map. A lot of teams spread out towards the west side, and a little bit of them going on towards the southern part. We see team number 9 at El Pozo, while we see a couple of teams right down towards down near Puerto Paraíso, towards the western side of Puerto Paraíso. We see a couple of people from team number 12, and Los Leones is going to be occupied by team number 16 out there, even though they are not going into the main city. They're just on the outskirts, trying to scout out whatever loot they can, while they are probably even trying to spot out people who are going to come out there. While we see team number 11 going. Wait, where are they going though?
They're
Impala?
they're actually going to be
Impala?
going towards the southeastern side of the map, I presume. They are near Impala right now, and Impala is one of those cities which actually gives a lot of loot right here, and you see it right there. You see the church of Impala just a little bit east of them, and it seems like they're just going to be hugging the coast. And if they do manage to loot all these small churches and all these small warehouses along the way, they will be able to get at least their entry-level loot, which they can probably carry around into the late game, because Miramar is not really lacking any guns. It gives you those SMGs by a lot. It gives you those assault rifles by a lot. You're possibly going to be finding an M16, which is possibly one of the most common drops in Miramar. You probably won't be getting an M4 or something, but an M16 will suffice.
The point is going to be more of the green bullets domination coming out there in Miramar, because the most probably you'll probably end up finding the green guns more often than the ones with the 7.62. As we are going to see team number 11 making their way on to Puerto Paraiso, which is probably, I would say, the Novo of Miramar, because that's the only place where you get all those containers. And let's see how it's going to pan out for them. Are they going to get some good loot coming out there? As the team which dropped at La Cabrera, team number 5, are getting some decent loot coming out there, except for Shinshan, I guess, because he's got nothing.
A pan. He has a pan. Don't underestimate the pan, Tango. Oh, he does see the scorpion, but he does not pick that up. So a little bit confusing. That is, he actually spots out 2 scorpions. I think he's not going to be settling for that loot. And meanwhile, we're actually going to be looking at the first drop of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It actually has the first 15x scope in the game, paired with an AWM with 15 300 Magnum bullets and all those level 3 gear. So people whoever is going to be getting this loot drop right now are going to be set for the remainder of the game.
But it's quite sad that nobody's even
it's in the middle of nowhere, man.
So I'm not really sure if anyone's going to get that until the zone is probably trying to end at that way, and looks so as if it is inside the zone as well. So probably we will be looking at a lot of teams trying to contest for the drop anytime soon, because we see team number 15 making their way into the zone as well, team number 12 right towards the southern part of Los Leones, while team number 16 are at Los Leones as well. Team number 11 split up out there, 3 of them at Puerto Paraiso, and one of them having that outpost onto that southern part.
Those warehouses, the warehouses which Arcady is going to be taking monopoly for himself, and this is kind of a tough situation because both the teams which completed first and second in the previous game are actually outside of the zone. We see team number 9 actually in El Pozo, and we're going to be looking at team number 6 just a little bit south of that, near Monte Nuevo. So this is going to be kind of hard for them to actually make it into the zone without facing each other, because you see Miramar reminds you of the South American drug cartel scenes, because you have a lot of these cars right here, the Diablo, I assume. You see a lot of these gunfights, these drive-bys coming in from most of these teams with an SMG or even an assault rifle, and those are really fun to watch. And I'm just scared that team number 9 and team number 6 just might face themselves pretty early on, because I don't really want to see either of them getting knocked out this early into the game.
I mean, why not? That is a change, I would say. We've seen all those top teams coming out till the end. Why not we see something like that in the start itself? Because some people just love to see the world burn, I suppose.
Well, I guess I'm not one of them. I actually want to see how these teams can actually go forward, how they can actually get better than they actually are right now, because this is going to be a completely different map. You are going to be having a lot of variance in your playstyle, and we're actually going to be looking at team number 5. They're going to be scouring the northern side of the map, and that is kind of confusing because they are really far away from the zone. The zone does move pretty fast where they actually are.
They've quite split up their team into two and two, because we also see them making their way towards their front as well. So that is quite they're quite almost near the zone, so I don't think that is going to be an issue for them, while all the other teams are making their way trying to get inside the zone as well. So let's actually see how it's going to pan out, as we are going to see team number 5. They're actually split into 3 and 1, as we just saw some time before. We will be seeing Shinshan coming out there trying to help them out, as they won't be heading into any fight anytime soon, because not a lot of teams are surrounding them. So let's actually see how it's going to pan out. A beautiful aerial view coming out there onto Miramar and towards the southern part of the map. Let's actually see what is going to happen right now. 11 teams and 42 people alive.
And you see that right there, you just spotted out a glimpse of the Oasis, and the Oasis is one of those places you actually get a lot of loot, a shit tons of loot, and with that you can actually go on further into the game. But it just saddens me a little inside, the fact that nobody really lands an Oasis. Now I just wish that team number 5 could have made their way.
Get over it, no one's gonna go to Oasis.
Come on, man. Oasis is pretty fun because it has a lot of these deep ridges.
I know you're a great fan of Mother Nature, but it's not happening.
Okay, I was about to say something very bad, but I'm just gonna shut myself off, as we are gonna be looking at team number 14's Magician God right now. He is gonna be getting a vehicle for himself, a pickup truck, while most of his teammates are gonna be driving that Volkswagen. So this is gonna be a really sad little place right here, because the Volkswagen, it's not really good at climbing all these it's really bad at off-roading basically, while the pickup truck can actually do a lot. And we are going to be looking at team number 14 just gathered up in all of their vehicles. They are going to be heading a little bit towards Picado, and they have to be careful because team number 10 is actually already over there. And if they do get spotted,
team number 10 were the first ones to go on a Picado, and it's pretty much suicidal if you want to go and try to take a fight with them, because they would have been heavily looted by now. So I feel like if you want to go and take a fight with the people in Picado right now, it's going to be a bad idea, because that's going to backfire to you, as team number 14 made their way right from Power Grid, which is quite, I wouldn't say, you don't get much of great loot coming out there, but it's sufficient enough to pick up a fight. But against team 10, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, they are probably gonna be neck down with all their loot, and this is gonna be quite hard for them. And we are gonna be looking at team number 9. As I said, they were outside of the zone, and they are gonna be making their way inside. They do have decent amounts of boots and healing for themselves, as you see Seek Warrior with 5 first aid kits. So they're not really lagging on any healing. It's just that they need to get their positional advantage on point, because Miramar, as I said, is going to be very huge, and if you don't have the position in the beginning, you will be caught unawares by most of these teams.
I mean, not just that, but if you're going to look at the teams, if you're going to look at the team, you don't see them all ganged up in the same place. They're pretty split, because they're leaving Nate behind, all the way behind near old El Pozo. And if they are going to pick up a fight anytime soon, when they are trying to get inside the zone, it's going to be a suicide for them, because that's not going to really help them out. All they have to do is make sure they are, they are holding their horses together and then going for a fight, because it's not going to help them. It's not going to help their case, because they still haven't made their way inside the zone, and now the zone has ended. It's going to do a lot of damage to these people as well. It would be a shame if they are going to go down pretty early into the game, as they.
I think that is very unlikely, since they did get El Pozo to themselves,
and they have a lot of healing items as well. So I don't think they can
probably just stop by most of these places and just boost themselves up, and probably waste a first aid kit or 2 and make their way inside of the zone. And the only thing which is kind of worrying about them is not the zone, is the fact that they are actually going to be getting into a lot of these other teams, and they're all clustered in the western side of the zone right here. And
while we are going to look at team number 14 as well as team number 5 trying to pick up a fight right now, as we are going to see Leon getting knocked out there by one of team number 14's players, and he's going to spot one more person who happens to be Sanup out there. He is trying to hit that shot with that VSS, mind you, even though it's got a suppressor and a 9mm. He's not going to do a lot of damage, but it can actually knock out a person. So I don't think it is going to be really bad for team number 14 to pick up a fight right now, because just 2 people out there, all they can do is just go and try to take that fight. I don't think that is going to be the case. He is trying to spot out team number 5's player, but looks like backup is arriving for them, and looks as if Gamer Gambit is making his way right in front of all his teammates and trying to take him out, as the SLR coming out there from Magician God is trying to get Gamer Gambit spotted, but that sadly is not going to be the case, as they still are waiting out there. They still have their escape vehicle, so even in about 30 seconds when the zone is going to move out, they can probably escape. But I don't think that is going to be the same case for team number 5, because one of their vehicles is already heavily damaged with that VSS coming out there from one of team number 14's player. So all we have to do is just wait and watch to see whether this can be a fight which team number 14 can turn it to their advantage. But looks though as if team number 5 are making their way into the zone and trying to escape. That's a smart play coming out there from team number 5, even though they will be taking a lot of damage. Probably they have a lot of loot and medkits for them to heal it up, so they are taking that risk, and I think that's not going to really go audio on them.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are 13 minutes into the game and no one has actually died. And that was kind of looking pretty close right there between team number 5 and team number 14. But team number 5 made the rational decision of getting the hell out of there. They just made that little risky bit of a play. But I think that is going to work out for them in the end, as we are going to be looking at team number 14. They are going to be holding their asses right now as the zone is going to be touching them. They can almost smell the zone. That's how close it is.
Finally, we see a person getting that AWM.
Oh, again, it's Kebab. It's Kebab, the guy who actually got the AUG in the previous game, which was actually in the water. So it seems like team number 12 has a special knack for just going for all these loot boxes. And
it's just Kebab and getting those first loots of the game. It's still a better story than Twilight.
Love story.
Love story.
Tango, there. I understand. But this is going to be kind of hard because bolt action rifles, as good as they are, it's not really going to be useful in a game like this, because if people are not going to be standing still, those shots are possibly not going to connect unless you're really good with them. So maybe getting a DMR over a bolt action rifle is probably my personal preference, but it seems like these guys are going to be rolling with it, Kebab and his friends, team number 12, as we are going to be looking at the second position in the previous game. Team number 6 right here, Rad Syndicate, they are looking to be fairly fat right now. We are going to be looking at the AK with the 6X, not really a combination which I would go for personally, but it seems like he's comfortable with that. So if that makes you happy, go ahead and roll with it.
I mean, I don't see something wrong in that, because when you're going to have a compensator or something like that onto your AK, you can probably use it as your DMR as well, even though it's going to give a lot of bullets as well. It's going to give you a lot of damage, given that, mind you, it's going to be a 7.62 bullet as well, which is going to deal a lot of damage, like I just said, as the zone is going to close in towards team number 10, 13 and 16's favor. While we are going to look at Captain Pawns and the winners of the previous game, which happen to be Welcome to North George, who are still inside the zone. They've been stuck in the zone for eternity in this game, I would say.
I guess one of their vehicles is actually going to stop to go for a heal.
One half of their team is already there inside the white zone, while the other half is still stuck at the blue zone. It looks though as if they have a lot of health to waste for them to stick to that zone for a long time, as we are going to probably look at a fight between team number 15 and 12, because all of them are at the same place. It's going to be Kebab and Hari who are going to be there representing team number 12, because they seem to be the only two people out there, and looks though as if Weedmaker is going to get caught in between the fight. Let's see how it's going to work out. It's going to be Kebab who's going to fall down. Looks though as if it is going to go in team number 15's favor, as Hari is not going to make the way to go for a revive, even though he's got an AWM. That's going to be a sad play coming out there for team number 12. He is trying to make that escape out there, as he pretty much knows that there are 4 people coming out there for team number 15, and the zone probably will be moving in about 15 more seconds. So all he has to do is try to get an escape route so that he can make it inside the zone and probably get some points if he is going to try to prolong himself into the game, because that should be the first thing which should be going into his mind right now, because he's the only one remaining from this game.
And that was kind of sad, because Kebab just went down, so the AWM with the 15X is also going to be theirs. And we are going to be looking at team number 9. The second entourage of their team is going to be making their way inside of the white zone. I just hope that team number 15 does not spot them out, and if they do, it is going to be a tough situation. But the first half of team number 9's players are actually inside of the zone, so if they do get shot, maybe they can go for a pincer move, as we are going to be looking at Captain Pawn. He is going to get shot at right now, but he does make his way inside of the zone, and with 48 HP. So he does have the vehicle, which is really apt for all these off-roading purposes. So I don't think he's gonna be in much of trouble right now.
And also it takes a lot of damage as well. So it's not like a Dacia where you just fire one magazine and boom, it goes away.
Diablo, not the Dacia.
Dacia is also bad.
Yeah, Dacia is pretty good, man.
The Diablo is gonna be the equivalent of Dacia in Miramar. That's how it is.
Okay, if you say so. We are going to be looking at team number 9. They are going to be gathering up in one place at this little bit of a two-story building, which does have these balconies at both of these sides. So it is one of the best places to actually have a really good vantage point, because you can cover most of the directions from this one building. But with buildings comes the risk of actually getting grenade, like having a nade thrown onto you, and that is going to be one of the dangers of being in a building. As we are going to be looking at team number 15, they are going to be scurrying about and trying to make their way inside of the zone, as we are going to be looking at them just claiming monopoly over one of these loot boxes. So he does have that level 3 gear right now, and they are going to be making their way inside of the zone. They do have the vehicle, so I don't think they are going to be dying anytime soon. But it seems like team number 15 is actually going to be running into team number 5's crosshairs. They are getting shot at right now by team number 5, but team number 5 actually need to be careful of team number 6, who are right behind them. So they are making a lot of noise. And look at team number 6, they're actually on top of this cliff, and they will be able to spot out these players who are going to be team number 5. And we are going to be looking at Shinshan right here. He is actually looking in the wrong direction. Team number 6 is right behind him. He does see team number 15's Weedmaker making his way inside of the zone.
But it's going to be team number 6 who are trying to fire it out on team number 5, which is Midas Monster with his SKS. Is going to spot out a couple of guys from team number 5, while one of their players are going to go from the other side. This is a game of Gambit is going to get taken down by Master, and Paradox is going to take down Leon as well. That's going to be 2 people down for team number 5, which is going to leave them in a fix, because you know what, some more time the zone is going to move out, so it's going to be really hard for them to regroup from that. But it's going to be Master X who is going to get taken down by one of team number 5's players, as he's making his way towards his teammate, or probably trying to go for a flank and try to take down one person from team number 6. And Acer is making his way. He's going to scope it out with his SKS and a 6x and takes him down in a close range. This is a beautiful play coming out there from Sanu pretty well, and he is going to spot out one more person coming out there from team number 6, and that happens to be Master X, and he is going to heal himself up. And I think team number 5 don't have a lot of time for them to waste right now, as he is going for the revive. And let's see how it's going to work out, because team number 6's players are going for the flank. It's going to be Paradox KS who is making his way towards the flank, and he is going to get spotted by one of team number 5's players. Let's see how it's going to pan out for him, as he is going to heal himself up for the moment. And that happens to be for a really brief moment, because he's going to make his way inside the zone. The blue zone is going to come out anytime soon. So it looks as if all the teams are retreating at the moment. Team number 6, 4 teams, as well as team number 5 are trying to make their way inside the white zone. And I think a lot of them are going to get damaged, are going to take some damage from this blue zone, because this is the phase 4, and that's going to do some kind of good damage to these players. So I think if you don't have a lot of good healing items, it's not going to be easy for you, as we are going to see team number 16's player who's going to take on ASD 0887, and that's going to be one more for team number 16, and make that 2, because that is going to leave team number 14 in a fix, and that's going to be 2 knockouts for team number 16.
And that is going to be team number 14 actually getting eliminated from the game, as we are going to be looking at the player from team number 6 who is actually going to be making his way after that fight. He is going to get shot at by team number 16, but it looks like Viper XL has taken a tad bit too much damage. He is going to get back into the shack and try to heal himself, as we are going to be looking at Sumant Gowda. He's going to be just boosting up, and Johnny Walker, he actually spots out people from team number 13 right there, as Rohan K and his friends are going to be making their way deeper inside of the zone with those 2 vehicles. And we're going to be looking at Paradox. He has a really good angle, and he's trying to get that shot onto Sumant Gowda, but no, sadly he gets knocked down himself, as we are going to be looking at Midas Monster. He's just trying to give some cover fire for Paradox, as we are going to be looking at Master X. He's going to be taking that role instead, as Master X with that 4x onto that M16A4 will be able to spot out one player inside of that shack, but he needs to be careful. One of the players just split up, so he can't just look at one direction, as we are going to be looking at Midas Monster. He's going to be making his way towards Master X right now. They actually have to haul ass out of this place, because the zone is going to be coming in one more minute, and it looks like they are kind of sandwiched right now, because team number 16 was right in front of them. And if they do get spotted out right now, since they don't have a lot of cover to actually work with, this is going to be kind of dangerous, as we are going to be getting back into team number 9 right here.
And they have just wiped out team number 15 from the game. That's going to be four kills for team number 9, and that is a good start for them, as they were quite inactive for a lot of time, given that they were struggling with the zone. And finally they are actually redeeming themselves in this game, and that is something which is quite commendable, as we are going to see team number 6's Midas Monster making his way into the white zone, as he will be met upon by team number 5. So this fight is going to continue in about some more time, as both of them are going to spot each other pretty soon, as it's going to be Sanup who's going to take on the Paradox. That's actually going to be his third knockout, and this is going to go really sad in favor of team number 6, because if he is not going for the kill right now, it's going to be really hard, and that's going to be one more knockout coming in favor of team number 5. That's going to be 2 knockouts which Sanup has inflicted, and make that 3, and that is going to be the end of team number 6, and they were just distracted by team number 9, in which was allowing team number 5 to make sure they wiped out their team.
And it looks like team number 9 is not done with their shenanigans yet, as we are going to be looking at team number 9 versus team number 13 right now, and it looks like they kind of just got a lot of these kills, and team number 13 are not looking really healthy in this game right now, as team number 8's players Tarn does have a Car 98K, and it looks like actually team number 9 eliminated team number 13 from the game. So with this, we have 23 minutes in, 8 teams alive and 26 people alive, and we are going to be looking at Seek Warrior and his friends just laying claim to the loot of the team which they just eliminated from the game right now, as they need to be kind of careful, because team number 5 is going to be towards their western side, while team number 11 is going to be right behind them. And
yes, they may be sandwiched by both these teams, because mind you, they are right in the middle of the zone, not really right in the middle but towards the southern part, but they still are in the majority inside the zone. So I don't think that is going to be a good idea, because if they are going to get met upon by team number 11 as well as 5, it's not going to go pretty well for them, even though they have all their 4 corners covered, all of them watching each and every side, so that they can cover themselves easily, as the next zone is going to probably pop up in about 1.5 minutes. So I'm really surprised to see, I'm really intrigued to see where the next zone will be heading into, as team number 11 are there as well, and if Seek Warrior can spot them out, that could be one more fight coming in front of them.
Actually, I think they know there is a team over there, because they do see the smoke. We did see a lot of these players from team number 9 actually just ADSing towards the smoke, so I guess they have an idea that people are going to be there, but team number 11 are going to be playing it a little bit more safer. The zone is towards their advantage, but they have to be careful, because the last player from team number 12 who actually made his way out of team number 15's clutches, he is going to be right behind team number 11, and we're going to be looking at team number 11.
It looks though as if team number 10 and 8 are going to pick up a fight right now. It's going to be team number 8 who are going to come out. Oh, it looks as if Hemchand's going to get down one more person over there, and that is going to allow team number 10 to be victorious if he is going to get the last guy who is there from team number 8, which happens to be Thane, to get him down, because if he's going to get him down, that's going to be the end of the game for team number 8, as he is getting a lot of damage being taken out there by the blue zone. So this is just about some more time for him to just get inside. He is going to use his first aid, but it's going to be cut from team number 10, who is going to try to take him down. He is going for the revive right now, so it looks as if he is going to spot out Thane as well, and this is just about, you know, it's all about his calculations, because if he's going to screw up something right now, that's going to be the end of both the teams, because Thane is going to get a lot of damage, but he is in time to make his first aid kit count, and he is going to make his run towards the blue zone. A lot of nades being cooked out there, the smoke's being cooked out there as well, so let's see how it's going to work out. But now the smoke is going to cost him his life, and that is going to be team number 8, which is going to be eliminated courtesy of Studs VSS.
And you know, that just shows 2 of the teams which were actually in the top 4 in the previous game have gotten knocked out of this tournament, of this game at least, and this is going to be kind of hard, as we are going to be looking at team number 9's Nate. They do spot out people from team number 11 right now, so this is going to be kind of a tough situation, because there are actually people right behind them. That is going to be Sanoop's team, that is team number 5, and we're going to be looking at Seek Warrior and Captain Pons. They're going to be
actually taking a fight with team number 5. It looks as if Nate with his Car 98 is going to take down Sanup, the person who was really instrumental in their first team fight in about 5 minutes ago, and looks as if team number 11 are trying to make an advantage of that, as they are making their way towards the white zone, while team number 9 as well. Oh, it's going to be Seek Warrior who's going to spot out one person from team number 16, and he's going to spot out all the 4 people from the team, and he's going to try to spam it out onto one of their players, and a lot of people out there. That seems to be too many for him to control. Let's see how it's going to pan out, as team number 9 are almost victorious with that fight with team number 5, as they have knocked out 3 people out of there, and looks as if one of them have revived both the people. So it's going to be pretty tricky, because we see team number 16 converging into the location as well. well, as Sick Warrior and his teammates are going to go towards team number 11. So let's see how it's going to work out for them, because we see about 4 teams in the same place, which is going to be really tricky, as we are going to see team number 16 taking a fight with team number 5. There's going to be 2 people who are going to get knocked down. Shinshan with that zone trying to take him down, as Sanuba is going to get taken down as well. So this is going to be really tricky if team number 11 are going to pick up a fight with team number 9, because both of them are right. There is going to be Captain Fox who's going to draw the first cut, and that is going to be another as well. That's going to be 2 people who are going to get knocked out in favor of team number 9. Sick Warrior is going to spot out one more person who is going to try to take out the knocked out guy, which happens to be from team number 5. So it looks though as if team number 9 are going to split it up while taking fights as well. 2 of them watching over against team number 5 and 2 of them taking care of team number 11. This is a brilliant play coming out there from the winners of the previous game, and that is going to be team number 5 who are going to get eliminated, which is going to allow them to focus on just one team, which happens to be team number 11. Let's see how it's going to work out. Just about 13 people alive and 5 teams into this 28 minutes into this game.
And look at this right here, team number 13 and team number 10. I think 2 of these guys are actually having a snake battle of some kind, as we are going to be looking at them really in close quarters. But since both of them are prone, they really don't know that the person's location, where exactly it is. But I think that the first person to actually get up will be the first person to go down.
But I feel their locations will be compromised in about 15 more seconds, because the next zone is going to move out. The blue zone will be moving out in about, the next zone will be shown in the next 10 seconds. So I think that is going to allow them some time to make sure they are getting into the white zone, which is going to be really tricky, because at this moment I feel team number 9 as well as team number 16 are in a good advantage, because even though a lot of damage is being taken there by onto Sick Warrior from team number 16, this is going to be a really even fight, because 4 of them from each of the teams is going to make sure which of the four players are going to make sure they are going to win this, because this is going to get tricky, because in about 45 seconds we are going to see the next zone which is going to pop up, and let's see how it's going to happen, because we see a couple of guys from team number 9 making the flank onto the border of the blue zone. So we still see one person from team 16 making sure that there are no people who are trying to backstab or take the flank, as Sumant Gowda is going to be the lone ranger out there towards the blue zone, while the other 3 people are making their way inside the white zone, given that there are no people behind him. So that is a smart strategy coming out there from team number 16. But is it smart enough to make sure team number 9 are going to get eliminated? That's only about some time for us to watch and know, because we are going to see 3 people from team number 16 trying to make it inside the white zone, while team number 13's players are already in the white zone, while team number 11's 2 players are already there as well. So this is going to be really it's going to be an even fight, while Sumant Gowda has already spotted a couple of guys from team number 9, and the blue zone is going to make its way. And let's see whether he is going to reveal his position first, or if he's going to take the shot, because he is right in front of Sick Warrior and he spotted him as well. So it's going to be Demo Life who is going to take down one person who happens to be the last person surviving from team number 10, which is going to leave us just with 4 teams and 12 people alive, 4 people from 2 teams out here, while the others are just with 2 each. And this is going to be really tricky, as Sumant Gowda is making his way towards team number 9. If he's going to get a good angle, he can also take out all the 4 people from team number 9, as they are going to be unaware. He's going to spot out Captain Pons. If he's going to take it, this will be a really good game coming out there for team number 16. He's going to knock out one person from team number 9, and let's see how it's going to happen. The nade is going to get primed out there. Let's see how they are going to face this issue, as Nate is going to the flank as usual, and that's going to be one more person who's going to go down, but it's going to be Aditya who's going to save the day for his team, as team number 16 are making their way towards the fight, and Sumant Gowda is going to take down Nate as well. Aditya is going to take down a couple of guys, and Johnny Walker is going to be one of the 2 people who are going to be alive from his team, and he is going to do something which is going to which happens to be a game changer, because right now we have 11 people alive and 6 of them are knocked out between the fight of team number 9 as well as 16. Let's see who is going to be the savior between both these teams. It's going to be Sumant Gowda who's going to go down, and let's see whether Johnny Walker can revive his teammate. And I think it is quite hard for him to do that, because one of team number 9's players are already revived, and that is going to allow a lot of time for one person to go and try to take the revive, because the next zone is going to come out, and that is going to be in the favor of team number 9 or 16 or 11, because 13 are in a bad disadvantage at the moment, as Viper has also been revived, that is. And we see all the 4 people from team number 9 back on their feet, and let's see whether they are going to flank it out and try to take it, as team number 11 are still in this game, just making sure that they are also in this game. And it looks as if Aditya has spotted both the people from team number 11. Is he going to try to take him out? He's done a lot of damage on the coverage. Let's see whether he can take him down, because he's just about 2 or 3 more bullets from that SLR to take him down. The smoke's being primed out there from Kavish, trying to act as some kind of distraction out there, and that is going to allow team number 13 to make the flank, and it's going to be Arcady who's going to take the Viper XS, and Captain Cons is going to take him down eventually, and that is going to be one more kill for team number 9, and they have 11 kills. They're almost the same as the previous game, and let us see how it's going to work out, because in about 10 more seconds we are going to see the next zone, which is going to move out, and a lot of damage being taken there onto Aditya. Let's see how they are going to turn this towards their favor, and it's going to be Demo Life who's going to take on Johnny Walker, and that is going to leave team number 16 out of the game. 3 teams alive and 8 people into this, and let's see who is going to be the victorious one, because we are going to see Nate who is going to try to take down people from team number 13, 2 of them being spotted out and one of them about to be knocked out there from both these teams. 23 HP is what Demo Life has got, and that's going to be one person with 17 HP, and that's going to be team number 13 who are going to go down, which is going to be just about 2 teams right now into this. 6 people alive, 4 people still in the game for team number 9, even though a couple of them are knocked out. I think team number 11 are in the driver's seat to win this, because Arcady as well as Kavish are with full health, while 2 people from team number 9 are knocked out, which is going to allow team number 9 to make sure whether they are going to go for the revive or not. But it's going to be Kavish who's going to go down. 1 person alive for team number 11. It's going to be Arcady. All of this is in his hands, and it looks like Captain Pond is making his way. It's going to be Arcady who's going to get one more knockout out there. That's going to keep 2 people knocked out over there, and that is going to leave Sick Warrior, the 1 person who is alive from his team, and let's see how it's going to work out. He is going to spot him out. Is this going to be a chicken dinner for team number 11? Arcady being the last man alive for his team, using his space to his advantage, but no, it is going to be team number 9 who are winning it for the 2nd time in a row. What a play coming out there from straight out of South George.
And that was one of the most enticing slash circle which I have seen, and the reason why is because team number 11, they gave a really good fight in the end, and you saw it right there. Arcady, he managed to knock out 3 people from team number 9 by himself, and that was still not enough, because the last guy, Seek Warrior, he just jiggled around that cover and himself and made sure that he got that kill. I felt like that last bit of a fight, it came down to who just had the better reflexes, and Seek Warrior proved that he had the better one. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the first place is gonna be straight out of South George.
It's actually straight out of North George. And it's quite confusing when both the teams are having almost the same kind of name. And
I guess the guys from South George have not amounted to much in this series, because they have not really been performing that well. And
well, yes, they didn't finish in the top 4 in the previous game, and they were somewhere in the bottom half of the table, which wasn't coming out really well for them. But straight out of North George, they really proved that they are the better team out of the lot, because that's going to be their 2nd win of the game, 2nd win of the series.
And this just means that they have set their pace. Their pace is really fast, and game number 3 back into Varangle, they'll just have to play it a little bit safer, at least get into top 4, and I guess you will be down to qualify for Mumbai.
I mean, not just that, because if you're just looking at the position, they got the chicken dinner in both the games. But if you're going to look at the number of kills, they have about 14, 15 kills coming out there in the 2nd game, which is going to be that's loads of points coming in their way as well. So which is going to give them a big boost, I would say, in the standings. And looking, I really felt that it could have gone to Arcady's way, team number 11's way, as they were pretty much close. They were hanging around on the edge of the circle for a long time, making sure that they were knocking out a lot of people, even though they were not getting those kills. They made sure that the damage was done, and eventually they came 2nd. For a moment, I thought Arcady was about to get all the 3 people coming out there, and it looks though it finally ended the way it was, as Sick Warrior proved that he was calm and composed.
He was ready. He just had the better reflexes. He just knew to tap the mouse just a little bit faster than Arcady, and that little bit of a difference just gave him that chicken dinner for his team.
I mean, as if I was there in that position, having lost 2 of my teammates or even 3 of my teammates to the same guy, I would have really
I would have panicked.
I would have panicked for sure, and that actually lets you know that you need to have a calm mind to execute something like that, knowing that both your teammates have gone to the same guy. And that eventually got them the chicken dinner. Beautiful play coming out there in the last 2-3 zones. I never thought it's going to be straight out of North George which will be winning this game as well, because it was down to the wire. It was pretty even. I never thought they would be winning, because all the other teams were putting up a really good fight, all of them getting knockouts and making sure even their team were knocked out.
And especially a huge shout out to team number 5, Sanoop. He played it extremely well. He had the 4 kills by himself, even though that was the total amount of kills for his team. The fact that he put up a really good fight coming into this game, game number 2, is going to mean that he is going to get a lot of points for his team, and maybe if he performs really well in the game number 3, he might just be able to get his team to qualify. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I guess the stats are kind of ready, so let's go ahead and see who is gonna be on top of the power rankings.
And likely said, that is going to be straight out of North George with 1420 points, almost twice as Too Easy Gaming, who are at the second place with 795 points, and Rat Syndicate making sure that they are still in the race with about 695 points, and Aimer Squad securing the 4th place at the moment at the end of the second game with about 645 points. Not much of a difference between the 3rd and 4th, but it is they played out really well, and the last 2-3 circles showed that there wasn't quite much of a difference between all the teams which were present out there. That actually lets you know about the quality of the game it was.
The people who were going to be playing in this, who are playing in this, that is actually quite amazing, that the fact that the skill gap between most of these teams is really less. Like you see, team number 9 versus Arcadie's team, it was
team number 11. Yeah, it was pretty even.
It was very even, and you see it right here. Pebble Gaming, who were previously in the top 4, are going to be getting down into the 5th position right now. They will have to up their game in the next one so they can actually secure themselves a slot in the top 4.
And I feel even Quack Quack and AWM, as well as Unleashed Gaming, also Deathstrokers, Welcome to South George and We the Future, have a really good chance. Not for Blood Hustles, however, but I feel the other teams have a really good chance, because the difference between the 5th place as well as the 11th place is not that big. It's just about 200 points, which can be
can easily be formed up in the last game, and this is the time where we have to decide how the strategies are going to be panning out in the next map, because even though the first map was Erangel, people played it a lot safer, people tried to play to win, but since the scoreboards have been put out and your place in the tournament has been determined, you will have to change your stat to actually match what you need to do. So maybe team number 9 can play it a little bit safer to actually secure themselves that, or the other teams, they will have to get a lot more aggressive, try to farm as much kills as possible so they can rack up those points and try to get forward into the game. And
I would probably think that, if I'm heading into the 3rd game in the second half of the table, my one strat would be probably, if you're actually going to spot out one of the people from team number 9, probably just make sure that you are not going either way from somewhere near them, because that would be, hitting your chances. It's actually suicidal, I would say, because the way they play, it is going to be really hard for the other teams to try to take them out early into the game, and even if they did, they really have a good difference between the points.
And that's one of the beautiful parts about PUBG, is that when you spot out the enemy, you can't really say which team he is from. And unless you have like these amazing IQ brain which can calculate by the kill feed which comes on the top right hand corner.
Or what you can do is probably when you spot him, try to knock him out. And if you see that if it's going to be team number 9, okay, let him get himself revived and not even going there.
That random factor in PUBG, that chaos factor in PUBG, where you don't really know who you're facing, is one of the reasons why PUBG is a beautiful game. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be right back with the last game of this,
because this game is going to be the most important game of this BO3 series, because a lot of things are at stake, a lot of money is at stake, and a lot of bragging rights are at stake as well, because the top 4 teams will be decided after today's game. And I think you guys should not be going anywhere, because after this break, after this short break, we will be back with the next game. So all of you, buckle up your seatbelts, get some popcorn,
and let's see how the game of PUBG is going to be panning out.
Say the word, say the word. Say the word, come on. Say the word and we can run around the earth and around the sun. Say the word and we can stay. Forget about that third place. And I know you're healing, 'cause I know the feeling. The streets stop breathing. We should forget about this place, but I don't wanna leave here if you're just gonna stay. Changing like the seasons, been wasting all this time. Should be like satellites cast beyond the sky. Leave our fate for another day. Riding these horizons, we'll find our way. We'll leave our fate and fade into the night. Just follow me to paradise. Just say we tried. Say the word and we can run around the earth and around the sun. Say the word and we can stay. Forget about that third place. And I know you're healing, 'cause I know the feeling. The streets stop breathing. I don't wanna.
Now it's your turn. Summon your strength. Fight for your team.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zolbert, also known as Siddharth Prashant, as you read right now, which is going to be showing up. And joining me right now is going to be...
This is Tango, also known as Sriram Vishal. We are here for a game of PUBG. And as you guys witnessed, we saw a couple of games of PUBG where we just saw the same winner, which happens to be straight out of North George, who happened to take both the chicken dinners of both the games which he had streamed right now. So we will be heading into the third game in this BO3 series. And I'm really intrigued to see whether they are going to take this hat-trick, just like how we saw Global Esports taking it in the semi-finals one.
And you know, Global Esports, their level of dominance was just way too much. Like, it was more than straight out of North George. Sorry, South George is some other team. But it seems like they are playing it well enough. Maybe it's the fact that the teams which are in their group is actually fighting back. and we are going to be looking at the teams which are actually going to be looked out for. Rad Syndicate, that is team number 6, who actually played it really well in the first game, and even in the second game they made it quite far into the game, so they did manage to hold that position 3 for themselves, which by the way they did drop down from position 2, but they have been playing it pretty well. And Pebble Gaming, who dropped down from top 4 back in game 1 to
and they're in
5th position.
They are in the 5th position right now, and not to forget Too Easy Gaming, who were not even in the top 5 in the first game, and they somehow managed to get it into the 2nd place at the end of game 2, and they in the process sent about 2 to 3 teams below them.
And that was actually quite a good upset coming in this tournament, because it seems like straight out of North George, even though they seem to be quite untouchable right now, the rest of the teams, they are quite shuffling their positions here and there with the game from game 1 to game 2. The transition you saw right there, the style of gameplay actually changed a lot. Team number 9, even though they did get that decisive victory in game number 2, you saw for the most amount of time they were spending their way in the zone. So, you know, a lot of healing getting used right there, but they somehow managed to catch up by getting a lot of these kills and looting these dead people and getting all of their healing also. So they did manage to play their game pretty well in game number 2, but not as good as how they did in game number 1.
And giving credit where it's due, Too Easy Gaming played out really well. I really felt that there wasn't any other team which gave straight out of North George such a good competition in the end, because we actually saw one of their players knocking out 3 people in the same place. Arcady, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that guy just wrecked. I almost thought that team number 11 was actually going to be getting the chicken dinner, because he had an advantage, but Seek Warrior, he managed to clutch that 1 versus 1, and that was quite like, I was
showing that the temperament of
my
the player, and that was actually, you know, keeping both of us at the edge of our seats, because that was a really good kill coming out there at the end, even though knowing that 3 of your teammates are knocked out. And as we are talking about that, we are heading into the 3rd and final game in this BO3 series of the 3rd semi-final of Acer Predator League Indian Qualifiers of 2019 for PUBG, and we are going to look at the flight path. And by the way, we are back into Erangel, which happens to be the mother of all maps of PUBG. And I'm really intrigued to see where it's going to happen, where the plane is going to go. As you can see, it's going all the way from Primorsk up to Kameshki, which is also cutting the map into half diagonally.
And this is going to be really, I don't think there is going to be much of a difference. People are just going to be landing in most of these hotspots. Primorsk can be one of the options, but since it is in the beginning of the flight path, maybe there might be a little bit of a fight. And as I predicted, we are going to be looking at a lot of teams, tons and tons of teams just dropping in the entrance of the plane's path, and we are going to be looking at
it. Actually looks though as if all of them are not even going to Primorsk, and they're actually making their way towards some
that's just mind games. I think that's just mind games, since you do see a lot of these people dropping at the same time. Maybe they're just beginning to see if someone is going to quarry, and then they just turn around and go back to Primorsk. And we are looking at one team which is going to be near Primorsk, so I guess they are going to be getting the city to themselves. And talking about the other places, we are going to be looking at one team going a little bit towards Ruins. Pochinki is not going to get contested by any teams right now. Maybe the guys who landed in school, if they loot it fast enough, they can get their way into Pochinki, because getting a vehicle or near school is quite a high, you do have a high chance of getting that.
But I feel the race to Georgopol is going to be what is going to be in the mind for the people who are dropping towards the western side of school, and I think that is where a lot of teams are going. It looks though as if team number 14's player just managed to get inside the vehicle of team number 8's Jackie, and looks as if Jackie is going to go for the road kill at the moment. Can he actually go and try to take it? But no, just in time we are going to see team number 14's players getting inside the UAV, and it looks though as if team number 8's Jackie is trying to make his way towards his teammate, while team number 14 are just running parallel towards him. And let's see whether they are going to diverge at this place, and yes they are, and that was a close escape for team number 8 as well as 14, as they are making their way towards that strip onto the western side of the coast. And let's see how it's going to work out. I guess a lot of teams are
I guess this is the team which has the highest possibility of getting into Georgopol. They are going to be spotting out the Dacia, and they are going to be splitting up right now, and this is a really good play coming in from them, because that just denies one more vehicle for who ever landed in that Western Strip.
Oh, but mind you, it's going to be straight out of North George, going on to Georgopol towards the northern side again for the second time in Erangel. And let's see how it's going to pan out again, because they got the chicken dinner in the first game when they went to North Georgopol, and they are going to go again, and the zone is also going to favor them as they are right into the zone, and this is probably going to help them out because they're going to have the whole village or the city to themselves, as we see team number 12 going on to the ruins and not probably going to get a lot of good loot, but good enough to take a fight. They have a barrel as well. Leon Prince got a barrel as well as a Vector, and let's see how it's going to work out for him, because both of them are not quite they're both the guns are quite unpredictable.
They are subpar guns according to the list of guns which you can get in PUBG. Like I would possibly take an M4 over the barrel, but we can't really count that out. There are people who actually main guns. Like I have, me personally, I main the M16A4. Maybe the guy who picked up the barrel is capable enough of using that in a regular fight.
Or probably he didn't have another choice or something like that, because landing into a place like Ruins is not going to give you a lot of options or a wide variety of guns for you to choose for, as I guess you'll just have to be sorted with whatever you are getting at that point.
You got to settle for the guns which you already have.
While we are going to see one team making their way on to North Georgopol, where team number 9 are the winners of the first game as well as the second game, and they're going to go right on to them, and let's see whether this is going to pick up, where this is going to go on for a fight or something like that. But looks though as if they are not making their way for a fight. Probably they are trying to loot it out, as one of their players, Nate, has spotted out a team number 14 out there. So that's pretty much valuable information coming into team number 9, knowing that they are not the only ones at North Georgopol. So we may be expecting a fight anytime soon between both these teams.
And we're going to be looking at the subpar loot coming in for team number 14 right now. Not really getting a lot of loot. And team number 9, actually Nate's team, they are in a really good position. They landed here way earlier than team number 14. They just made their way here, and we are going to be looking at the eastern part of the Georgopol city is going to be taken care of by Nate's team, while team number 14, Magician God and his friends, they are just going to be looting this little 3-storied apartment complexes. And the thing is, these apartment complexes don't really have a terrace, but the one which Nate is in actually has one. So if he does manage to get on top of this, he might be able to get a really better angle onto where team number 14 are going to be going.
And that too, that is going to only happen if team number 14 are going to stick out in the open. But given that this building where team number 14 are don't have terraces or something like that, that's going to actually help them to their advantage, because unless they're going to step out of those buildings and try to go out in the open, that's not really going to be a disadvantage for them, as we are going to look back at team number 9 making sure that they are looting all those apartments out there, while we are going to see Sick Warrior with his mini 14.
And I mean, I would actually put my money on team number 9, because for God's sake, their name is straight off of North Georgopol, and they are, I guess the reason why they would have named it, if like paint me wrong, I think the only reason why someone would name themselves after a city is because they're good at it. And team number 9 are in Georgopol, and we are going to be looking at team number 14. They are just a little bit inside of the zone, so they are actually in the disadvantage, because once the next zone does come out, I'm pretty sure that they are not going to be in the zone. They will have to move towards that bridge, and meanwhile we are going to be looking at the drop right now, and this is going to be
right on the southern part of Severny, just on the way from Severny on to Yasnaya. So I feel team number 10 are the closest, and I think if team number 6 plan to move toward the northern side of this continent, probably they can also
I don't think that is going to be the case, because team number 6 actually have the apartment complex near the school to loot, and even team number 10, they have a whole city to loot. I don't think they're going to take the risk and try to go for it.
So yet again is going to be the Groza, which is going to kickstart this game with the loot and the drops, and it's got a suppressor as well, all the level 3 suits coming out there, the vest, the helmet, as well as the backpack. So the person who is actually going to get that is going to get a whole lots of recoil as well along with the drop.
A whole lot of unpredictability in this crate right now, even though the predictable parts are the level 3 gears. And we are going to be looking at team number 8 who are near Quarry. I guess they didn't really land in any place in particular. They're just looting all these small buildings in this western strip right there, while team number 13 over at Primorsk, they are also out of the zone. They will when they're making their way inside of the zone, they have to be careful, because team number 16 is going to be just a little bit east of Gatka, and Pochinki, still not yet monopolized by any of these teams. So if team number 16 or team number 12 decide to move towards the city, I guess they will just get an upgrade to whatever loot they're getting, because team number 12, they're in ruins, pretty sure not getting a lot of good loot, and team number 16 not really looting any of these good places. They are also looting all these small buildings which is spread apart in throughout the map. So whoever goes to Pochinki first is going to be getting an upgrade to the loot. And meanwhile, team number 11 over at Milta, also not in the zone, but I don't think they will be running into any of these players. The only imminent threat to them is if team number 10, who are in Yasnaya, decide to move a little bit south towards prison or something. Other than that, I don't think team number 11 is going to be having any trouble. The one who are going to be in trouble is between team number 9 and team number 14.
But I also feel that if the zone is going to favor team number 12 and 6, they might be under imminent danger as well, because all the teams which are coming out there from the western part, team number 14, team number 9, team number 5 as well as team number 8 will be converging somewhere near school if the zone is going to favor the eastern part of it, as we are going to switch back to Georgia Bowl, where we are going to see team number 14 as well as team number 9 out there. Still not picking up a fight, which is quite surprising, because by about 10 minutes usually we do see a casualty or something like that, we see a fight. But this is actually the first time everyone's playing safe, because the stakes are high in this game, as it's going to be the last game in this BO3 semi-finals, and we still don't know who the other people are who are going to qualify. I'm pretty sure team number 9 have it in their bag, probably, if they are not going to exit it pretty early, and if the other teams are willing to capitalize on that, they could probably be out of the tournament. But I don't think that will be the case, given about their track record and the way they have been playing both the games.
I know that what I said previously, that you can't really figure out who is in from which team, but team number 14, maybe it's a calculated decision that they came to Georgia Bowl City.
I mean, that could be the case, given that the name is they've anyways named themselves like that, and it was quite cocky of them to just go back onto Georgia Bowl, probably because they have won the first 2 games, and I think that is something which they would be wanting to go for. Probably they were thinking that a lot of teams will be coming out there trying to take them out, so that they will be having a good chance of qualifying as well. So I think they were just more of wanting to go for the kills or something like that, which can also be that could also be wrong, but.
Yeah,
I feel that could be one of the
other than playing it safe, it's more like putting out a statement. I'm the strongest team out here, and what better way to
what better way to do that by going
other than getting kills?
Place, exactly.
Other than getting kills and showing off that you are a cocky little team right there. And we are going to be looking at the zone actually converging. Team number 14 and team number 9, they are kind of safe right now. The zone is not going to really be touching them, but team number 9 is in the closest vicinity of team number 14. So as you said, anytime the fight can burst out right now, as we are looking at Seek Warrior. He is kind of looking at the general direction of where team number 14 were previously, and he's just moving a little bit, inching towards them. And look at that, Seek Warrior is in a really good position to actually go for a flank onto team number 14 if team number 14 takes a fight against the rest of the 3 players in the city.
And there's actually good strategy coming out there from team number 9, making sure that just one person is flanking around and trying to spot out and give out some useful information to team number 9, as the others are just sticking around, grouping out and trying to loot whatever the buildings are remaining out there, while team number 14 are sticking it along with each other, 4 of them sticking right in the close vicinity and trying to take down the loot and trying to even spot down team number 9, because they pretty much know that there will be a team out there from either team number 9 will be out there, because given that they have been dropping on to Georgia Bowl. So I feel anytime soon we will be having a fight out here, because in about 30 more seconds we're going to see the next zone pop out, and who knows, it may even not favor both these teams, so they will have to move out anytime soon. So I guess we could even witness a bloodbath out here right at the exit of North Georgia Bowl.
And we are going to be looking at both of these teams just gradually inching towards each other, and we see the buildings with the terraces right here. Both of them are actually going to be occupied by both of these teams, so if one of these guys actually spots one of them out, this is going to be a bloodbath. We are going to be looking at Aditya right here on the far western side of these buildings. He is going to be having a really good angle, and we are going to be looking at Unstoppable. He's actually going to be moving into the same compound where team number 9 are, and this is looking to be a really dangerous move coming in from team number 14, because he is the only guy who's going to be straying towards them. And look at that, he is not really giving a damn about where these people might be, as he is just going to be making a lot of noise, just sprinting towards team number 9's general location. I think in about a minute we are going to be seeing a fight between Unstoppable and the players from team number 9, as we are going to be looking at Seek Warrior. He's just going to be inching out, trying to get a peek or two over there, just trying to figure out if people are going to be cutting in between these apartments. We do see the holographic side coming in from the AK, which is a really good setup coming in, because the holographic side just allows you to ADS pretty faster. And we are going to be looking at the guys who are going to be claiming the loot crate over here are going to be team number 10, the Groza, coming in with the level 3 gear, and Seek Warrior and his friends getting back to them. We are going to be looking at ASD0887. He's going to be inching away. I guess they are not going to be taking the fight right now. They are trying to retreat. He also has an M16 with no bullets ASD, so not really an advisable strat coming in. I mean, it is kind of intimidating if you run towards someone with an assault rifle, but if you don't have any bullets, I don't think that is going to make a statement, my friend.
But what's the point? You've got a 4x onto an M16 but without any bullets, and I think that is suicidal if you are going to go for a fight with that. So what they are doing is probably reasonable, trying to get some bullets and trying to get some good loot before they are going to go. But one more thing which is going to come to their disadvantage is that the zone is not even in their favor. They'll have to move outside Georgia Pole. While we are going to look at the second drop coming into the game, somewhere near right next to team number 8 with the MK14, also the scopes coming out there with level 3 suits. Let's see how it's going to pan out and who is going to take this, because the drop is still inside the white zone. While we are going to see team number 14 making the long way off the western side of the bridge, and they probably could make it towards team number 5 because they are making their way as well. So there is a slight possibility of them trying to meet up with team number 5, probably take a fight or something, because
you're saying it like they're meeting up for a dinner or picnic or something. I'm pretty sure
both of them are running away from the zone, so
I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna just meet in air quotes possibly, if you guys can't see me. I'm pretty sure that they are in for quite a bit of a bloodbath, as we are going to be looking at team number 14. They are going to be crossing these containers in Georgia Pole, which previously was taken by team number 10, and it looks like they are going to be moving towards team number 10, just inching a little bit further towards them.
And it's going to be team number 9 who are coming right behind them, and they are making the same way as well. So we may be looking at a fight over here as well. So because anyways, these guys, wherever they are going, they're being met upon by other teams which are trying to follow them or something. There is a split coming out there from team number 9, two of them dropping out right near the containers part of Georgia Pole, towards the western side.
There's a small building which people actually go to loot before coming into Georgia Pole containers. If you see a lot of people landing there, that is one of the strats which most people do use. And we are going to be looking at team number 9. They're actually going to be getting really close to team number 14. And team number 14, they are in a vehicle, mind you, but team number 9 are going to be split between two vehicles. And with two vehicles gives...
They are probably going to go and try to take this fight, because team number 14 are right next to them, and they're not even losing their trail, I would say. And looks as if Unstoppable is going to fire the first bullets onto them, not really connecting on anyone, but he does give out his location right now. So this is going to be really tricky for both these teams, because should they go for a fight right now, they could lose their chances of qualifying or something like that, even if both the teams are either one of them are going to get wiped out.
And we are going to be looking at the drop getting spotted out by team number 14's player right there, and it looks like team number 9 are going to give no heat to team number 14. They're going to be making their way deeper inside of the zone, and possibly they can possibly contest the drop themselves. But from what I have seen personally of team number 9's plays, they don't really go for these drops. They actually just go for most of these kills, they go for most of these safer plays, and maybe in the last few zones they go ahead and go ham. And we're going to be looking at Aditya and his friends. They're going to be dropping just a little bit close to team number 11. Team number 11 is the same team which was in the top 2 in the previous game right there.
So we're actually going to see the top 2 fight of Miramar again right at the start of the game. So let's see how it's going to work out for both these teams, because we saw this fight with
Seek Warrior between Arcady. That's the one you guys got to look out for,
because that is the one we saw in the previous game, and it was going right down to the wire, and I'm expecting something of that sort coming out there from both these teams. Both these quality teams coming out first and second respectively in the previous game. We can see something like that, of that sort of caliber coming out there between both these teams, because both of them are right next to each other, and it looks though as if Seek Warriors got that car right inside the garage. stealthily coming inside as Aditya is making his way on top of that building, and little does he realize that there are people out there and they could be in for a fight at the moment as Sequarrior is trying to cover his teammate out there right opposite to the building where Nate takes. There are 4 people from Team 11 while Team number 9 are safe in that building. So the nades are going to get cooked out there, but Dawat from Team number 11 as Captain Pons and Aditya are trying to make their way over there. Sequarrior trying to give a cover to all his teammates. Let's see how it's going to work out. Team number 11 have a clear right at the Team number 10. Team number 9 are right on the opposite side of the building as Dracula is going to try to bandage himself and then go for his nades as well, because he's got a lot of them as well as so does his teammates. So I think this is going to be a big fight coming out there from both these sides as Nate is going to go and try to throw those nades right now.
Is that a wordplay, Tango? Nate and nade.
Okay, I really didn't.
Okay, yeah, that is not really a common thing, but we are going to be looking at Sequarrior. He's just going to be, as you said, giving cover to his teammates, and we are going to be looking at Sequarrior with his signature Mini 14, and he does have that 6x to pair it up with, so he is going to be a formidable opponent. And look at him, he's just scoping into most of these random things.
And while this is happening, we just realized the Team number 13 are out of the tournament, so that is going to be the end of the run for their game right now. So let's see if they are going to finish in the top 4, because that is something we'll just have to wait and watch as we are switching back to the fight between Team number 9 as well as 11.
And we are going to be looking at Captain Pons. He's just going to try to get on top, but we are going to be looking at one player from Team number 11. Adavat, he is going to get knocked down right now, and we are going to be looking at Aditya. He is going to be the criminal who did that, and we are going to be looking at one more knockdown possibly going to be coming in, and that is going to be Aditya with 2 knockouts, and 2 more people remain. Maybe cook a nade or 2 and try to throw that in, but it does not look like Team number 9 have a lot of nades, and we are going to be looking at Captain Pons. He is going to be making his way to the building, and it looks like Sequarrior is just going to be the designated sniper. He's just trying to give some cover, and we're going to be looking at another knockout coming in consecutively from Aditya.
And that's going to be Kavish who's going to fall down. The guy who was going to go and who eventually revived Adawad, he's going to go down as well. And let's see how it's going to work out, because Arcady was going for the flank, and I'll be surprised if he's going to take down 3 people like he did in the previous game, because let's face it, this was almost the same situation which was in for Team number 11, and they were almost able to take that out of nowhere, and it looks though as if Team number 9 are in advantage right now.
Oh, and by the way, look at Sequarrior. Sequarrior finds out Arcady. What is this? This looks like a replay of the last map, as we are going to be looking at Sequarrior actually getting the knockdown onto Arcady. So we are going to be looking at the flank gone wrong coming in from Team number 11. This is the right moment for Team number 9 to actually pounce onto that building, because one of their players is knocked out and way out of reach for Team number 11's players. We are going to be looking at the Mini 14 coming in from Sequarrior. He's just looking at most of these angles, just trying to figure out if any of these other players are going to be stupid enough to try to go for a flank. Then we're going to be looking at Team number 11. They're just reviving their teammates again and again. Arcady, he even has a Mini 14 himself with a 4x, but look at that, he only got 1 bullet in, and Sequarrior just knocked him out with that headshot. And
this is going to be really hard for them if they are choosing to leave Arcady out there, because that is going to really not help them out in the rest of the game, because if they are going to go and try to take a fight right now, they'll have to be without their MVP of the previous game, which happens to be Arcady, and looks as if one of their teammates are going to go. It happens to be Kavish who is going to go and try to revive him, and that is going to be a revive in favor of them, and Arcady is going to heal himself up, and this is the time where they are going to decide whether to take the fight or not, because 3 of them have already been knocked out once. So if they're going to do it a couple of times or something like that, that is not really going to help them out, because already they are sitting in the second place in the standings, and if they are going to lose out pretty early into the game, that is not going to really help them out, because if the teams which are finishing on 3rd and 4th in the previous game are going to win this or come in the top 3 or 4, that is going to be the end of the road for 2 Easy Gaming. So can we see something like that, or is this going to be a fight between both these people, and 2 Easy Gaming are going to redeem themselves with this fight, while we are going to switch between Team number 5 as well as 14. Shots fired there from Leon on Team number 14's players, one of them getting damaged for a little bit, which happens to be Magician God. Already 1 kill into the game for him, as Sanup is going to spot out Team number 14's players, the man who was dominant with his SKS in the previous game, with getting about 4 to 5 knockouts for his name, also swiping a single team by himself all alone. Can he actually do something like that, as we are heading back to the action between Team number 11 as well as 14? No knockouts yet since the last one, and it's going to be Arcady who's going to follow 3 people from Team number 14, and let's see whether this is going to oh my god, that's Team number 14 making their way over here. This is going to go into a triple way, and look though as if Team number 11 are in an advantage right now, as Kavish is going to stop one more person coming inside, and that is the person who's unstoppable, who goes by the name Unstoppable, which was quite ironic at the moment.
He is pretty stoppable right now, as Kavesh just proved that. And we're going to be looking at Kitten getting knocked down right there by team number 11, Arcady doing the deed. And this is quite a dangerous situation because team number 9 is right behind us. But it looks like team number 9 is just going to ignore team number 11 right there. Maybe they just want to take that fight later on. We're going to be looking at the shots coming there. And we are going to be looking at team number 14 actually getting eliminated from the game, as Magician God is going to be getting that. He got killed by Adavat. So that is going to be team number 11 taking that kill. And look at that.
That's going to be 4 kills for them as well. So this is some valuable points coming into them. While team number 9 just wanted to get outside the zone.
Oh, look at that zone.
Look at that. It's going right in the city of Pochinki. And that, by the way, is one of the places I really don't want to have a fight or have the last 2 to 3 zones out there. Because this is going to go right down to the wire, as we are going to see team number 8 trying to spam the hell out of team number 5, where they are going by the vehicle and they are heading right inside the blue zone. That's going to be a lot of damage onto them, and that's going to be Shinshan who's going to go down because of the blue zone. This is quite a bad decision coming out there from team number 5, as that's just going to be one person alive from them. He's going to go for the revive, and he's going to go
I think Leon is dead.
He's going to go down. Yes, he is down.
Even though Sanoop did try to play it really well, he managed to get knocked down. And look at that, we are going to look at Kebab right there getting knocked down by Getsuka Tensho, an anime name coming up again from team number 8 right there. And there is one more player from team number 12 right there, Hari, and he is going to get spotted out by Getsuka right there. And we're going to be looking at the shot coming in from the SKS, and that 8X getting paired up, and Hari is also going to get knocked down, and that is going to be team number 12 getting knocked out of the tournament right now. And we're going to be looking at team number 8. They are kind of close to the white zone right there, but the place where they have to go to, that's a lot of open space, that's a lot of open fields. And looking at team number 16, they have a really good angle, and Viper XL, he's actually looking in the general direction of where team number 8 might just emerge from.
I mean, he can spot out 2 teams, team number 8 as well as team number 6, because the way he is at the top of that building, he can spot out both the people, one being team number 6 from Pochinki, because he's got a really good scope as well. I think that is a 6X, so that is going to be a 6X onto a mutant MK47, so that is something which is the M16 alternative of the 7.62 family, as we are going to see team number 16 heavily guarded at this place. And this can go either ways, because if you are going to get naded out in this building, that's going to be the end of your game. And let's actually see how it's going to work out, because this building, they are right into the zone as well.
I think team number 16 are going to be one of the safest, are going to be in one of the safest places, because nobody is really in the closest vicinity of them. And look at that, team number 6 and team number 16, there's a huge difference that they have to cover to actually be an imminent threat to them. And it looks like team number 8 are actually not going to be going towards team number 16, but team number 8
go on to team number 6, because they're going heads on onto them. And let's see whether this is going to be a fight between both these teams. But mind you, it's going to be a fight between a team which has 4 people alive and just 2 people alive for team number 8, and looks though as if it can be picked up anytime soon, because the one thing which is covering both these teams is going to be the cliff where Maester is there from team number 8. So that is going to give some kind of cover for them, as Paradox is right in front of him, and looks though as if both of them are not able to spot each other out there, courtesy of that
little tractor right there. And we are going to be looking at Meister right here with that M4 and that extended mag. He is going to be going towards him, but he needs to be careful. I think he is going to spot him out in a little bit if he just gets a little bit ahead. But it looks like team number 6, they are going to get all shacked up, as they are going to be making that little place their home. And this is quite an amazing play, because there is a watchtower right next to them, and team number 8 might just assume that they are going to be in the watchtower, but no, they're not. They are going to be in that shack. And look at that, Getsuka Tensho and his friend, they're going to be looking at...
They actually spotted out team number 6, and that's going to be some damage on to Midas Monster. Let's see whether they are going to get the job done, because they little do they know that there are a couple of guys from team number 6 inside that shack. So that is going to be an element of surprise for them, and let's see whether they can actually get to it. But I guess the door closing out there is going to give them some kind of information that there are people more inside that shack, and that's going to be one of team number 8's players getting shot out there from team number 6, and Midas Monster and Master XX making their flank out there, going towards their left. And let's see whether they are going to go for the fight, but no, they are going to go inside the building and get some cover. Probably that will buy them them some time for them to heal up, as this battle is getting right under Pochinki right now. The next zone is going to favor the teams which are team number 10, 11 as well as 6, and team number 9 are still into this game, and they are diagonally opposite to team number 11. So we are still yet to find who is going to be the victor between both those teams, because we will be seeing that pretty soon, because I really think both of them have an equal chance of getting a victory into this, because heading into the zone and the zone favoring them as well is going to add as another advantage for them, because in about 5 more seconds we are going to see the next zone going to move up, the blue zone going to move, and that will force team number 9 to get inside the zone, and I feel it's going to go right near team number 11, as Kavish can be the first guy who will be giving the information to team number to their teammates. The team number 9's players are going to be right next to them.
And we are going to be looking at Captain Spawns coming in from team number 9. He is going to be inching just a little bit closer to Kavish's position. Seek Warrior, as usual, with the holographic side onto the AK, just pairing it up. Like, tell me a better love story than an AK and a holographic side, because even though the red dot is one of the best close range scopes, the holographic just has that little bit of an ADS speed, and that is going to act really good coming into the game. And we are going to be looking at team number 11. They have spotted out team number 16's position, as we are going to be looking at Dracula with that 6x onto that SKS. Will be able to fire a bunch of shots, but I don't think he's going to be landing any of those. Joker 007 on contrary with that 3x onto that Scar L, he's just going to be making some little bit of a noise right there.
Oh boy, but that is going to allow team number 9 to get that vital information that team number 11 are just hiding somewhere behind those buildings, and I think Nate as well as Aditya have spotted one of their players, and Arcady is going to be the guy who is going to try to flank and try to spot out the people, as team number 16 are finally making their way on Pochinki, while team number 6 and 8 are still not fighting against each other. So they probably are playing it really safe, as we still have just about 6 teams and 22 people alive in this game, and it can go either ways, because all of the teams are inside the zone. And I think the first fights between the teams is going to be between team number 11 and 9, something which we saw at the end of the previous game and the start of this game as well.
The El Clasico of PUBG Acer League 2019.
Semi-final 3.
Semi-final 3. And we are one of the things which I wanted to talk about, since the zone did coming into Pochinki, is the usage of nades. I believe that team number 9 used most of their nades back when there was a fight, and we are going to be looking at Nate actually getting a knockdown onto Arcady. So we are going to be looking at the star player, the MVP for team number 11, getting knocked down right now, but I don't think he is in any imminent danger, as we are going to be looking at Dracula. He is going to be going for the revive, and team number 9, they're nowhere close enough to team number 11 to actually close down on that knockout situation, and we are going to be looking at team number 6's players. They are going to be just inching a little bit closer towards the city.
It's going to be one of team number 10's players who's going to go down, courtesy of one of team number 9's players. So let's actually see how it's going to work out, as Joker is going to take down Paradox, who as and when he was trying to get inside the building, one of his teammates just closed that door, which was allowing him to just get knocked out there, as Adawat is going to get revived there. 4 kills for their team. Team number 11 are not in a great position as of now, because the zone is not favoring them.
They actually got knocked down twice by team number 9, and look at that, team number 9 have actually not stayed in that same position. They have actually moved deeper inside of the city, and this is quite an amazing thing that they are doing right now. And this is, mind you, the 3-story building in Pochinki, where you can actually look out into the terrace, and
I'm not sure how it's going to work out right now, because they are heading right into the open, and team number 10 have a really good angle, and looks like the team number 16 are going to pick up a fight with team number 9, but team number 6 are right behind them, and Sick Warrior with the smokes is going to act as a distraction between both these teams, as he is making his way out there. He is spotted by Acer and the couple of guys from team number 6. So this is going really crazy at the moment, as Sick Warrior is still having a sight on team number 11's players. So there are going to be shots which are going to get fired onto Arcady, which is going to connect, and Johnny Walker is going to get that knockout as well. So that's going to be the 3rd or 4th time where he is going to get knocked out, which is going to do a lot of damage, which is not going to really help him out in the later stage of this game, because we are in the
Arcady actually going to
go down, and Arcady is going to go down, and that is going to be the end of the MVP of team number 11, as Nate is going to spot out a couple of guys, and Adawat is going to go down as well. Adawat is going down, and Acer is going to take down Joker. What is going on? It's going to be a triple triple threat between 3 teams of that. Team number 6, 11 as well as 16 are fighting it out, while team number 9 are waiting and baiting out the other people. So Sikh Warrior still has his eyes on Johnny Walker. Let's see whether he can take him out as well, as Aditya is going to spot out the people from team number 10, as Acer is going to get taken down by 143 from team number 10, and we are just with 5 teams into this game and 17 people alive, and a lot of people getting knocked out there, getting revived as well, as Acer is going to be the only person from team number 6 who is at the building, and his teammates have got a long way to go if they want to go and try to revive his teammate, and if they want to go there as well, it's going to be team number 16 who are going to stand right into their way, and Captain Pawns out there from team number 9. Team number 9 are playing it really well, as each and every one of their teammates are actually, spotting out each of every side.
They just know how to play this really calculatedly, as we are going to be looking at Nate. He's holding an angle onto team number 11's position, while Aditya, he's just looking towards another direction, while Nate, he knows he needs to worry about team number 16. While we did see a little bit of a scuffle between Sikh Warrior and Johnny right there, so Johnny Walker, so this is kind of a tough situation for team number 9, but their superior game sense is showing off in this game, as we are going to be looking at team number 9 essentially getting sandwiched between 2 players from team number 11 and 2 players from team number 16.
This is brilliant. Team number 9 in one building, team number 16 in the next one, and towards the left side is team number 11, 2 people from team number 11, and it's going to be team number 10, Skawa, who's going to take down Paradox from team number 6. So this is about time where we are going to see the next fight coming out there. In about 15 more seconds, we are going to see the next zone, which is going to pop up, as the blue zone is going to go out right now. So let's actually see how it's going to happen right now. It's going to be a couple of kills it's going to be a couple of knockouts for team number 9, as Kavish is going to go down, which is going to leave Dracula, the last person alive from team number 11, and that is going to give him a lot of responsibility at the moment, because if he's not going to try to get that would be the end of their team in the run, as it's going to be Midas Monster who's going to go down to one of team number 10's players. They're playing it really well. Team number 10 are going to be the team which we have to watch out for, but as I said, 2 people from team number 10 are going to go down, and it's going to be Hemchand who's going to get that naked kill out there, and he's going to wipe out team number 6. And what a game this is. It's just down to 12 people or 11 people out here, as Hemchand is going to go down. Finally, team number 16 and team number 6 are making team number 10 pay for it. We are just left with 4 teams into this, 1 person from team number 11, 4 people from team number 9, 3 from team number 16, and just about 2 people, or I guess 3 people from team number 10. So this can go either ways, because all of them are right next to each other, except for team number 10, who are right on to the opposite diagonal side of team number 16 as well. So it's just 4 buildings between all these 4 teams.
And the ones who are in the advantage are going to be team number 16. They are in that building, and since the zone is going to be converging towards the center right now, this is going to be one hell of a match right here.
And speaking about the advantage, it looks as if one of team number 6's players, one of team number 10's players, 16's players is going to get knocked down courtesy of team number 9's player, and this is going to be really tricky right now, because in about 16 more seconds we are going to see where the next zone is going to go out. It is going to diminish in the point of the center. So this is going to be really tricky, because all the teams will have to go down or go for a fight right now, and it's going to be one more person for team number 10 who is going to get knocked out, which is going to leave Skawav as the last person alive from team number 10.
Oh, actually, you saw that Viper XO got that knockdown, but it was team number 9's player who actually got the kill.
And that is going to be the end of team number 11. And 2Easy Gaming finally have come down to the 4th place in this game. And let's see how it's going to work out, because the zone is going to go and pop out right now, as team number 4 are in the advantage, as 1 person from team number 16, 2 people from team number 16 are alive, and 1 person from team number 10 are. And it's going to be 1 person who's going to go down. Nate is going to fall down in front of Viper XL from team number 16, which is going to give them valuable information, that there is one guy from that. He's trying to jump out from the building, but it's going to be team number 10 who's going to go down. Captain Pawns is going to get 1 more person. So this is just about with 2 teams, and that is going to be another chicken dinner for team number 9. That's going to be 3 in a row. They have eclipsed what Global Esports did in the first game of the semi-finals. That is going to be back-to-back 3 wins for team number 9. Dominant performance coming out there from straight out of North George. See, just about 7 kills coming out there in this game, and all of them coming out in the last 2 zones. What a game coming out there from Sikh Warrior and his teammates. They deserve special they deserve a special respect in this, because they really played it out. They played it out really consistent, and they made sure that they are the winners of this tie
and they deserve it, I would say.
And they played it extremely well, and also a huge shout out to team number 16. Look at that, we actually see, even though team number 9 got the chicken dinner, they only had around 7 kills, but team number 16, who actually got into second place, they have a lot more kills than that, and even that does not really matter, because that last fight in Pochinki, not a lot of grenades getting used, because a lot of these grenades were used previously in the earlier stages of the game by team number 9. And
but you know, who would have thought that the end zone will be coming on to Pochinki, because that is something
that's playing homage to PUBG in general, because Pochinki is, if not the most famous place, the famous reference you can take from PUBG, and the concise and decisive finals, the semi-final for getting who's going to be going to Mumbai, happening in Pochinki. That is like I don't know, pop culture, some stuff like that. It's just very
what a way to qualify for the grand finals, by getting the chicken dinner, or winning this tie in, which is actually ending in Pochinki, just like how you said. And a huge props to 2 Easy Gaming as well. They managed to get to the top 4 as well, and probably even they could even secure their place in the finals, because they played it out really well. They tried to they actually survived the fight with straight out of North George, a couple of times before eventually meeting them in the second last zone. So that is something which is quite commendable, because they were the ones who were giving a tough fight to team number 9, as well as the other teams which were coming out there in the game.
And that was quite an amazing gameplay coming in, and I believe the designated snipers for each of these teams, for team number 9 it was Seek Warrior, for team number 16 it was Johnny Walker. They played it extremely well. And especially the one where Seek Warrior got that back-to-back knockdown onto Arcady. And basically, the reason why Arcady died was not because like he was in a really dangerous position. It was because he got knocked down way too many times. And the 4th time, I believe, when he got knocked down, he just could not be revived. He just ticked down way too fast. And we are going to be looking at who is going to be getting into Mumbai pretty soon.
Who do you think is going to get down to Mumbai?
I believe that team number 6, who actually were in the top 4 in the previous game, with the 5th position, which they did get a humble 5th position with those 4 kills coming in, I believe they have it secured. And obviously team number 9, which is straight out of North George, they will have it secure. And the only thing which is going to be confusing is Pebble, 2 Easy Gaming, and that is the ones which we have to look out for, because the shift of momentum might change. You might just see that the math is not going to be adding up, and we are going to be looking at the stats right now. So ladies and gentlemen, strap on your seatbelts and let's see who is going to be going to Mumbai.
So yes, it is. It's going to be straight out of North George. It wasn't a surprise, and they are going to go down as the first team to qualify from this set with 2,025 points. That's more like 2nd and 3rd combined together, as we are going to see 2 Easy Gaming sticking on to their 2nd place with 1150 points, and right below is going to be Rat Syndicate, who are going to clinch the 3rd spot with 1005 points, and just 10 points below is going to be the Arctic Warfare Masters, I guess, EWM, with 995 points. So that was really close, just about 10 points between 3rd and 4th.
This was a really neck-to-neck fight, and a huge shout out to Pebble Gaming. Even though you guys played it consistently, you gave us a really good show, but sadly you just dropped down from the 4th position back to 5th, and right now in 6th. That is quite unfortunate, but good job to you guys. Maybe you will be performing a little bit better in the upcoming other PUBG tournaments. And another way, huge shout out to straight out of North George, because they played it extremely well, and even though
they literally killed the game. They the way they played.
Hey man, choose your words carefully.
Screw that, because that's quite.
that is quite accusing out of PUBG right here, but as you said, they did certainly kill it. They played it extremely well, and 2 Easy Gaming also need to be given a huge shout out. They did not really get a chicken dinner. They really did not get the 2nd place all the time, but
I personally feel that if there was a team which was constantly giving straight out of North George a run for their money, that had to be 2 Easy Gaming, because the way they played it right from the first game. The first game was not theirs. It wasn't really living up to their expectations. Probably it
didn't go on really well for them. But the second and third game went on really well. They kept, they kept fighting and they kept applying.
They gave team number 9 a run for their money.
Exactly, that's exactly what I meant to say. As they really deserve this place, and I think second place for them is actually a good thing coming into the tournament, because they anyways have qualified, and I think they will be looking for revenge in the main event as well, and that's what even I feel they will be going for, as all the other teams will be looking to get that redemption onto the other teams which had finished right on top of them as well.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have the decisive people who are going to be going to the grand finals, which is going to be happening in Mumbai. So, if you want to follow that, give a like to our page, share it to your friends, and hit the subscribe button over here on the YouTube channel, because the next time we're going to be streaming, you guys will know when that's exactly going to be happening. So also hit the bell icon and leave a comment down below letting us know what we can do better to improve our streams, what you think is going to be the outcome of the game or the stream which we are going to be doing. Nothing illegal.
And by the way, guys, a huge shout out to all you guys, because without you guys this wouldn't have been possible, and also for the people who are watching this, because you guys really killed it down in the comment section. And if you feel you like this stream as well, so you can just lay down in the comment section, keep spamming that whatever you feel like, just like how my friend said, no racist things,
nothing illegal, no gambling, no racist things, and please no masala, please, no masala coming in down in the comment section below. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna be streaming the semifinals number 4.
We will be streaming the semifinals number 4 tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. So make sure you guys are getting all pumped up at the time, and get your popcorn right before that, because we will be seeing who the last 4 teams who are going to qualify for the main event tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. And with that being said, this is Tango, also known as Sriram Vishal.
And this is Old Bear, also known as Siddharth Prashant. I was actually getting confused. I was about to say Old Bear, also known as Sriram Vishal, because
you get the point. Yeah. You get the point. We'll actually see you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Until then, we are going to sign off. Ciao.